attempt to DM. I'm Becca. I'm apparently the DM, and I will let the others introduce themselves from bottom to top this evening rather than top to bottom.
That means I'm going first, right?
Yes.
So I'm Colin. I'm Becca's Thursday DM, Saturday travel companion.
You went completely robotic there, sorry.
Did any of that get through there?
Like you said, I'm Colin. I'm Becca's Thursday DM, and then nothing.
I got a weird signal there. Okay, so yeah, Colin, Thursday DM, Saturday travel companion, weekday workmate, and currently playing with any of us Triton Cleric. Did that work?
Yep.
And I'm Traz. I'm from the Monday group, and I'm playing Drac, the Gemstone Dragonborn Wizard.
Sam from the Monday group. I'm playing Nico, the Barbarian Elf.
Scott, I'm the DM for the Monday group, and Becca's in real life Wednesday group. I'll be Cyrus the Rogue for this evening.
I am the other Scott. I am Becca's DM for Saturdays, and I will be playing Russell Leaves, the Furball Druid.
And that only leaves me. I'm Azuzu. I'm another one of Becca's players from Monday. I'm playing Ishida Yuichi, the half-elf monk. And I believe I have volunteered myself to do the recap. So if Becca's all right with it, I'll continue to do the recap.
Off you go.
After our first excursion into the cave, we had a long night's rest, and we didn't have a long night's rest. We were woken up quite suddenly because our barbarian Nico heard some noises which woke us up, and we subsequently spent about an hour looking around, making sure the cave is safe before leaving the cave eventually. We then traveled back to the temple, which we had left in session 1, to explore further into the ruins below. In one of the ruins, we found a knight who was resurrected using some form of leaf magic or something like that, and had attacked the party. The party fought and were victorious in the end with very little casualty, and were rewarded with a banner that helps the party out in tight situations. Upon exploring further, the party found a cave full of spiders, which has now become the new side quest to destroy all the spiders. Party decided to let the spiders live and eventually went back to the town, the little town where they had begun their quest. They had a couple of interactions with a couple of other patrons in the bar before taking a long night's rest. And I believe that's where the party is at the moment.
That is where the party is. So you all ended up going to bed at various points of time last night. So it's a pretty restful night. Nothing major happens. The inn is quiet, and then it comes to normal morning time, and you all slowly begin waking up in the room you all share, with some extra guests in random spots. No one notable, just some travellers that have stayed here this evening. Would anyone like to do anything particular this morning?
If it's all right, before Drax went to sleep, he would have redid his elixir, if that's all right.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure he was one of the first ones to go up to sleep. So when he woke up in the morning, he would have headed downstairs and gotten some breakfast and such.
So you walk downstairs into the inn, or into the main part of the inn. Not very busy this morning. A couple of people in, just popping in for breakfast before popping off to work. Your innkeep's behind the bar, same guy that's been there every time. I can't remember, did you pay for breakfast last night?
Yeah, paid for
So
one tea and breakfast for myself.
yeah, so he'll see you come in and down and go, it'll just be a minute or two, it's cooking now. I'll bring it out when it's ready. Have a seat. Can I get you anything to drink this morning?
He sort of goes over to the same table he's probably had since he's been here, over in the corner, waves his hand, does minor conjuration to remake his little tea set, and takes over the kettle and say just some water.
Cool. I'll go and grab you some water. Pop it on the fire, same as last night, and he'll pop in the back, grab you some clean water and in your kettle and pop it back out to you.
Yeah, just put the kettle on the fire and sit down with my pull out my spell book, take the wrapping off of it, open it up, and quickly do my spell study for the day.
Anyone else this morning?
So Yoshida would have woken up at dawn, kind of found himself a space outside, and just kind of warming up, kind of doing stretches and everything, just kind of doing his forms, just to kind of be in shape. And then he'll eventually come back, and if Drax is sitting at the table, probably take a seat at the table with him.
I'm going to spend a bit of time before heading down and just brushing and braiding the hair. You know, been on the road for a couple of days, so I want to make sure there's no bits in it. Then head down for breakfast.
Cool. And the guy behind the bar will once again see you coming down and go, yep, it's on its way. And you paid? Did you pay for one for Ashida
I paid
as well?
for myself and for Ishida, yes,
Yeah.
and for his lodgings for the night.
Yeah. He'll go, yeah, they'll be free on its way. The rest of your companions coming down soon. Should I get them all ready? Or just you three for now?
I would say just ourselves for the moment. They're rather unpredictable a lot.
Cool. I'll bring it right out. And he'll just quickly pop behind and bring out breakfast. It's a fairly simple breakfast. It's porridge with a choice of either salt or sugar, and a hard-boiled egg on the side. And he'll pop it down in front of you all. Go, can I get either of you two anything to drink this morning?
Just some water, please, and leave the salt.
Okay. And he'll look at Ishida. Anything for you?
Water as well, please. Thank you.
He'll pop through and grab 2 glasses of water and bring them out to you both. He'll leave both the salt and the sugar on the table just in case anyone wants the sugar. And he'll go back to the bar and be cleaning up, tidying up, pottering around.
I'm going to oversalt the porridge and the water.
Is that how one drinks water outside the forest? Isn't that a bit too much salt?
It's getting the levels right can be a bit tricky at times, but I suppose if it is undersalted or oversalted, I can cope for a while.
Is there any particular reason you use a lot of salt?
Familiarity. It keeps the homesickness away.
Oh. Huh. Interesting.
At one point during the morning as I was sort of came down, just sat in a quiet end of the bar and just keep general observation of everyone coming and going.
Cool. As I said, it's fairly quiet this morning. There's not too many people in. You can make me a perception check if you like.
Little, so give me a sec.
No problem. Cool. Yeah, so no one really comes in or out. When you came down originally, there was just a sort of well-to-do gentleman and lady sitting in the corner just having a bit of breakfast. Not the same people that you saw last night, but other than that, it's a fairly quiet bar this time in the morning.
Just keep an eye on the others and just self.
The innkeeper will look at you and go, "Can you get you anything this morning?"
Glass of milk, probably.
Cool. And he'll go and grab you a glass of milk and pop it in front of you.
How fresh is it?
It's fairly fresh. It's not like just milked out of a cow, but probably last night.
It'll do.
You said it was a quiet bar, but I figure that'll be broken pretty quickly when Russell comes bounding down with a cheery crowd. Good morning!
I just wave, just kind of like very slowly at the bar, just like acknowledgement.
Is that something else people do outside the forest?
Drax is little familiar, would have probably put his head up and you would have gotten in your head, hello, 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 happy feelings.
I smiled brightly and waved him over to join us at the table.
I'll go over and plonk myself down with an audible thud.
And did you buy breakfast? I can't remember.
I believe I did.
I think he did as well. So he'll see you coming and he'll just come out again with a bowl of porridge and hard-boiled egg, and then point to the salt and the sugar on the table and go, "Help yourself." Can I get
Thank
you
you,
anything?
my good man.
You are more than welcome. Can I get you anything to drink this morning?
Got some water if you got it.
Of course. And he'll go and get water, and he'll go, "Weird people drinking water at this time of the morning." And he'll go and get you a glass of water and bring it back out.
Nico probably would have woken up fairly early, being an elf. But he wouldn't have done anything. He would have stayed in bed and pretended to be asleep while everyone else got up and went downstairs and did their shit, just because he's weird and there's no other reason for it. And he thought, this is makes me look more normal if I get up late sometimes. So he'd just wait long enough for it to seem like he had a bit of a lie-in, and then come downstairs and enter the room in pretty much the opposite way Russell did. Quietly, and just go and pop a seat next to Draxus.
Cool. And because I can't remember if you ordered food or not, he'll bring you out some as well. And he'll pop it down in front of you. Same as the others.
Because I've heard Russell kind of say good morning at a very loud voice, I'm going to repeat the same thing when Nico comes down.
Okay.
Oh,
Good morning.
he'll stop and he'll stare for a second, and then carry on walking to his table. He'll maybe put a hand up, but only kind of halfway up, and then go and sit at his table. He'll pick up the breakfast and he'll scoop it all onto Drax's plate. So you got double.
Yeah. You're all sitting there eating your breakfast. Pub's fairly quiet. Dude's pottering around.
Oh, so now that we've all risen and gathered, first port of call after breakfast, Iron Stockade? Yes.
Yes.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Who has the evidence?
We all have minor items that prove of some sort of illicit goings on, but I'm not sure if they add up to a disappearance.
Oh, it more depends on if he wants a disappearance, if he wants a murder, or a third option. But I have most things covered, I think. Drax is probably, since everybody's been sitting near him, he's probably been really awkward. As soon as the Ashida first came down, he would have put his largest tome away, though he keeps it wrapped up in some fabric, put it back in his bag, and just got out just an average little book and been reading that. You see him every now and then sort of look towards his familiar, and seem to have a understanding going between them, but never actually saying a word to anybody.
Sorry.
No, after you.
I was just gonna say, does anyone else have any other business here, or are we just muddling along until we get to the stockade?
I believe the stockade should be the first protocol. Get this out of the way, and then we can deal with what comes next. I have other business in town now, but we'll see what occurs.
Would it be too forward if I ask you what other business you have in town?
Just going to one of the shops primarily. I think it was called the Swiftfoot Cry.
Seems interesting enough.
And there's no real reason for it, but I would rather quite like to have a look in that toy shop. Doc's Provisions, was it?
Yes, I was probably going to head there afterwards if the Cry did not have what I needed.
Well, it seems we've got a list of things to do. I guess we should finish breakfast quickly and get going.
Any particular task we think we should prioritize? Well, I'm kind of still half asleep rather than seem to have had a restless night, but not still got the rest, but kind of like something's ticking away back in the back of my mind here. Is that we should probably focus on and work our way through them all rather than charging off aimlessly.
Dr. Visions is merely an indulgence. I have no real reason to go there. I just found it charming.
Enough, I assume. But if it's not a priority, then it can go lower in the list. Still can be done.
Artin is the first place we should head to. Well, he's the first one we should head to. Get that out of the way, and we can deal with the situation, any situation then.
I agree.
While this conversation is going on, both Scots, with your passive perception, you hear a hushed conversation from the well-to-do looking people in the corner. You hear the gentleman go, "It's obtuse, nobody's kidnapping anyone, look around you. If anything, these peasants have run off to gain rank in the army. It's a clever means to escape their situation." And you hear the lady turn to him and go, "No, I tell you, it's the Starlings. They're the ones behind this city's woes. The lack of evidence speaks loads more to this than your own accusation." And they're basically just having this hushed conversation about you gather it's about the disappearances of, I believe Artin mentioned, well, he said to the barman that there were children disappearing. You believe this is what they're speaking about, and I can't remember the word. Discussing and coming up with theories about.
Side-eye to my colleague, who I assume can hear as well, and kind of like tilt my head towards like, should we probably inquire because this sounds like a lucrative opportunity?
I know that Artin mentioned something along the lines. Perhaps he has more information. He's seems to be a knowledgeable sort of fellow.
I have a thought. Perhaps maybe while we do inquire from him, perhaps a direct approach to those two, and I kind of gesture to the couple and go, information from multiple sources. If we can corroborate, that way the details become clearer.
You make a very fair point, my friend.
Trying to see how persuasive I am. Whack it, I guess. I'll not making too much of a point of it. He goes, well, perhaps maybe I should try that end. If you keep it in mind to speak to the guardsman gentleman, if I don't get a word in first, I shall go speak to these two here at the moment. If you excuse me, and I'll saunter over.
They both abruptly stop their conversation and give you side eyes, as if to say, why the hell are you walking over to us? They're both human, human male, human female. He has dark brown hair, fairly average in his looks, nothing remarkable about him. Probably about 6 foot tall, fairly thin. Looking like a gentleman going to run a company at 8 o'clock in the morning. So sort of suit, tie, as much as you get a suit and tie in this sort of universe. And she is wearing a fairly fancy dress, blonde hair piled up on top of her head, jewellery all over her. These two are definitely very, very well to do. And yeah, they both just give you the look as you're walking up to them.
Pardon me, sir, madam. My name is Cyrus. I couldn't help but overhear a couple of little tidbits of your conversation. It wasn't exactly quiet in here, and the room is very quiet, and sound travels. There seems to be a little bit of a connection from what you've been saying here and what I was informed of when I arrived of certain disappearances.
Well, it's not hard to miss with the frickin' commoners going on about it, says the man. Yes, children have been, well, they're saying they're being kidnapped. Honestly, I don't agree. Probably just trying to escape being common.
I was keeping a straight face inside, so I was screaming a little bit at this attitude. This is, well, I would think it would be more of an issue if your workforce is losing their children. Good sir. Perhaps if you have any, do you have any, perhaps any solid and credible ideas as to what this disappearance might actually be, rather than self-interest, and perhaps maybe, I don't know, certain information might be helpful in resolving this local issue?
At this point, the woman butts in and goes, well, he thinks they're running away. I think it's that nasty thieves guild that Artin cannot get control over. The Starlings are definitely causing this problem. That Jane Eyre is not to be trusted.
And say both of them individually and see if either one of them's. She's accusing someone, and he seems to be just like he's a rich tog, but is he trying to cover? Am I getting any hint that he's just playing the act?
Roll me an insight check for both of them. So start with him, and then hers will be the second roll.
First one for him.
Okay, so as far as you can tell with both of them, neither of them are lying. He honestly, to you, has his head stuck up his ass, and is one of those kind of people that is like, they're just causing drama to cause, as in he thinks the common people are just causing drama to cause drama. And she definitely believes what she's saying, that she thinks it's the Thieves Guild that's currently running amok, that's causing the problems and stealing the children.
Well, really, madam, do you know any of these members of the Thieves Guild on a personal level, or I kind of slump next to where their seats are, and just like, or is there anything else particularly why you would presume such thing?
Well, who else is it going to be? And no, I don't know any of them personally. Why on earth would I have any interaction with any horrible, nasty little thieves that can't keep their sticky fingers to themselves?
No implication intended, madam. It's simply a matter of just discerning certain motive of why accusations were made. Simple procedure from where I'm from, just in case people's biases tend to cloud their judgment out once in a while when tragedy appears. You can understand, I'm sure. But you mentioned someone by name, and I get my like sketchbook out and just pull like a quill out and just like, what was that name again?
You mean
Not the guards.
You mean you haven't seen her wanted poster all around the town? And she'll pull out a wanted poster, and I will link it to you all.
I was AFK for a moment, but are we all privy to this conversation, or is Cyrus having this individually with the two of them?
So he's walked up to them, but they're not being particularly quiet, so I don't know if you'll definitely hear their side of the conversation. I don't know if you'll hear Cyrus's.
Well, fascinating. I can take the wanted poster, roll up, and stash it away. Anything else you have information-wise that you think may have been of any benefit?
Your best bet is to talk to Artin. He runs the guard. He's basically the sheriff of the town. So, you want more information, your best bet is to speak to him.
I think about it. I'm pretty sure I already chipped away at that little stone, but I'll work on it. Thank you, madam. I don't even acknowledge the gentleman, just kind of like, "On, you've been very helpful," and just blank him completely.
Cool. He will remember that. But yeah, so they go back to their hushed conversation and their breakfast, and you return to...
I get about halfway between both parties, as in their two and our party, and I go, "Oh, one little tidbit," and I think this might be a little thing with such a small community, but voices travel, and everyone can see. And I'm gonna do a hush when he's like, "Just a thought. If these people are as bad as you say they are," and then I carry on walking.
Okay. So yeah, they go, as I said, back to their conversation and their food, and you walk back to your place with your companions, the people you went on a mission with yesterday, whatever you choose to describe them as.
Back there and go, "Well, that's one piece of the puzzle, I presume. Once we speak to Artem, we might have another one, so."
One thing you will notice as you come back to the table, Russell will just rest his staff back down against the edge of the table where he was kind of holding it ready.
I'll notice and go, "What, you had no faith?"
They're wearing too nice clothes to be in here.
I just like smirk and go, "You're catching on, my friend. You are definitely a wise one."
But from what I gather, the other tavern is closed at the minute until it opens properly. So this might be the only proper place to get a meal at this time of day.
I do not understand what was the interaction with them about.
I'll fill them in on the disappearances and that how it's somehow related to the gentleman who gave us the job.
Oh,
All the wanted poster out and go, and these were a bit of an evident clue that we might have not.
Is there a war or something on that so many untrained people could join an army?
Possibly. There's always someone wanting something that someone else has.
I mean, there hasn't been a war for like 1,000 years, as far as I know.
if children are being kidnapped, I feel that should be our first priority now.
But the wanted woman does have a gold reward, so that kind of bumps it up the priority list.
You said that Artem knows a little bit about this woman.
Corroborate with what I know so far, and can also seems to link to a suspicion that I had with him yesterday when he initially handed out this job that we were sent on. He gave off the air of someone with his strings being pulled from another source. Bit of speculation. If this Thieves Guild are running around so blatantly that the aristocrats over there can mouth off without so much of a hitch, and that they know that their town sheriff, and I'll quote, air quote with when I say sheriff, can't seem to keep them in line. And it wouldn't be too much of a leap of logic to suggest that he's either on the take or in their debt. Either way, there's more to this gentleman than what we would initially led to believe. The fact that we should consider if any other of more work comes our way from him. Just a thought.
If we believe that he is being facetious, if he's being not forthcoming with the truth, should we not confront him? That is what I've learned from my experience.
Well, discreet method would be my preferred choice, and I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't think going right up to one of the town's leading authorities and going, "Yo, you seem to be on the take with some nasty shit," is going to go down well. I'm always suggesting that we should consider that there is probably more going on than what we're led to believe, and that maybe if interactions with the gentleman were to continue, we just keep an eye on him. And if anything doesn't seem to be above board, then we pick and choose our moment and ask him more bluntly that way.
We do have good cause to visit him. If he does start being evasive or duplicitous, then we can at least gauge his response to raising the issue of the guild, the missing children, and whatever else may be ailing this small village.
I nod along, just like,
I will go along with what you're saying, but I feel a little uncomfortable not forthcoming with this. I feel we should, if we know that he is being elusive with the truth, then perhaps we should confront him right away.
Well, that's it. We gauge his response to the results from Clarkson, mention we have seen the wanted posters, and if he then becomes evasive, we can press the issue. However, we do not want to offend him before getting information about what's actually going on.
or let slip to those that's pulling his strings that we might be intruding on their plans, whatever they are, if they are such things.
I've always been taught to take on issues head on, but I guess there are other ways to deal with the problem.
Drax at that finishes the bowl. Nico slid over to him, stands up, puts his book away, and goes, "Well, I'm ready," and starts walking towards the door.
Are we sure that they're separate incidents?
I don't think we're really sure of anything right now. I think we just need to ask the questions and try and gauge what we can.
We do have a lot of loose ends, and the common thread does seem to be Arton.
Because I remember one of those things in the cave said it was coming to town for some reason. And I mean, I don't know too much about fairy folk, but well, could that be related maybe?
Doubtfully, they primarily wanted a way home after Clarkson chose to take the trip on his own and leave them behind. Their thoughts were they can kidnap people from the town until they can find someone powerful enough to do what he did, but actually take them with him, or them, or whatever.
Shall we go? Is everybody ready?
Yes, I think let's go. I have a bit of a discomfort in situation at the moment and want to address it as soon as possible.
All right. Set out.
Ishida, dear, nobody's asking you to lie. Merely refrain from telling the truth.
Hmm.
Okay. On that note, you'll leave the inn.
Yeah. Do we catch a car there?
Has my Uber arrived? That sending spell I used a minute ago, it should have got by now, wouldn't
So you step outside, and I dislike both Traz and Scott right now. So yes, same picture, no cars this time. And it's busier than it was last night as you step outside. There's a fair few people milling about. There's a couple of stalls set up, ready to trade some wares. And you all notice she's very hard to miss, considering she's being super loud. A little old gnome lady stood on a wooden stool, clutching a sort of cloth pouch to her side with one hand and frantically waving a dented bell in the other. And you hear her calling, "Arms for the lost children, arms for the families broken apart too soon, a silver, a copper, every bit helps." And she's just sort of trying to get people's attention and gather money for them. From them, not for them.
Can I approach her?
Of course, let me link her to you. Link her to you, yep. That's the right form of that sentence.
Words.
So that's what she looks like as you approach her.
Hello. My name is Ishida Yuichi. I couldn't help but overhear you shouting about the situation.
Oh yes, it's terrible. I'm Widow Midge, they call me. It's terrible. Kids are disappearing, they're being taken, but only the children in the slums. They're not taking any of the upper class children. It's not fair. I'm collecting funds. I'm wanting to help the families that have lost the children deal with their loss. If any little bit helps. They're all very poor, so anything.
How do the funds help the families? It does not bring their children back, does it?
You are correct, it doesn't, but it helps keep them going while they're searching. Some of them are choosing to. Some of them are choosing to not go to work because they're looking for their kids. It helps them do that. Feeds them.
How much have we collected so far?
Not much. A couple of silver. The nobility are completely ignoring my pleas. All the people with the money in the town, and none of them care.
I'll take out 7 gold and give it to her.
She will look completely shocked and go, "Oh God, thank you so much. That will help so much. They'll be so pleased. Thank you."
Spread the word that Ishida Yuichi is on the case and the children will be returned.
Oh, thank you. One of the people you may want to speak to, one of the parents, her name's Tara. She lives over in the slums. She's been looking for her little girl. She's the mom of the most recently missing one. You might want to have a chat with her, see if she remembers anything.
What is the name of her little girl?
Lisa. Lisa was the name of her little girl.
Okay. We are on our way to meet. What's the parent's name? Sorry, blanking. You
Artem.
mean Artem. Uh, but if you could let Lisa, if you could let Tara know that Lisa shall be returned to her.
I will. But as I said, you may want to chat to her herself. She lives quite close to where her little girl was taken from. She might be able to give you some information, but if you don't see her, I'll pass on the information, that's fine.
Yes, pass on the information. We shall go and see her shortly as well.
Sorry, I lost connection there.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're absolutely fine.
So I've totally missed what the gnomes told us there, sorry.
The most recent kidnapping was of a girl by the name of Lisa. Her mom is Tara from slums, and she suggested we go and speak to her for more information, basically.
Thanks.
I'll look back at the party and say, I think we need to hasten this process up. Clearly, there's lots who are at distress at the moment.
One moment. I walk over to the gnome and say, this may be a strange question, but these children, what ages are they?
They range. The youngest that I'm aware of was about 4. Lisa, that's been taken, she's been the oldest. She's been 10.
That's what pays the army fee at least. I drop a silver in her box.
Oh, thank you so much.
And kind of nudge Draxus with my elbow and just say, put a coin in the box.
As Drax has sort of still got his hood pulled up over his head tires, sort of like turns to you and just goes, "Why should you?"
Well, you have all of my money. Yeah, we should.
He gives you a silver coin. Well, there you go. And he just carries on walking.
I'll pop the silver piece in the box.
She'll look at you and go, oh, thank you, all of you strangers to the town, new to the town, care more than the wealthy and the elite. Thank you so much.
Can I insight check her?
You can
I
certainly.
was just about to ask.
I just want to know basically if this is all genuine.
Cool. As
Oh
far
no
as
shit.
you're both aware, she is telling the truth. You do notice beside her there is a notice board. You notice again there's a wanted poster, like the one that Cyrus has tucked in his bag. On that notice board there's a couple of other signs on there.
Anything of interest?
There is one that it's a kind of a missing poster but doesn't look like it's for a kid. There's one about the grand opening of the other pub that you've seen. And that's actually about it.
I'll give him a ganders, but then I'll be on my.
So you see the missing poster is for a gentleman named Janko Pensnatch, and it advises you to speak with Bertram Copperpot at the Swiftfoot Crier for more information. And as I said, the other one's just a grand opening for the Shady Spigot. It looks like it's opening today from what you can tell. It just says, grand opening, come have it made in the shade of the shady spigot. Join the celebrations of our opening and get your first drink half price today.
Okay. What was the name of the missing person?
Janko Pensnatch, so Juliet Alpha November Charlie Hotel Oscar, and then Pensnatch, spelled exactly how it sounds.
Okay.
I'm going to use Druidcraft just to predict the weather.
To predict the weather, did you say?
Yes, just to try and predict if there's going to be rain in the next rest of the day.
No, Druidcraft lets you know that it's going to be a fairly nice day, a little bit breezy, a couple of clouds in the sky, but other than that, fairly nice. It's that time of year.
I will walk up, put a silver in the widow's box, and pass that information on to her.
Oh, thank you so much. I don't plan to be out here too much longer with the gifts you've given me. I'll be able to go and help out the family. But thank you so much.
It's the least we can do. My thoughts and prayers are with families.
Thank you, thank you. But I wouldn't want to keep you. Be on your way. Have a good day, and hopefully you'll be able to find them. And she'll go back to calling for aid for a little bit. A little less feverishly this time, because obviously she's got a fair amount of money, but she's trying to... You get the impression that she's trying to drum the interest of the people that she thinks should be interested and be caring. So, are you off to the stockades?
Yeah, Drax would, no, I say, would have just headed off, just carried on straight past a woman.
Cool. So you walk past the places you walked past last night. Everywhere's a lot busier today. People coming in and out. You see a lot of kids gathered around the window of Doc's provisions, and people going in and out of the shop. So the Soot Sisters Smithy has a couple of people walking into it with what looks like broken horseshoes and things. And you see, coming out of the Swiftfoot Cry, you see a lot of sort of early teenage young men coming out with scrolls of paper and running off in every direction, starting to call out the day's news. And then you make your way to the stockades, and you find two different guards stood outside this time. Doors are open. Looks like you can walk in and out with no issues. Same two people are in the stockades outside as they were last night. They're still there, looking very tired, very cold, in a bit of pain. Other than that, not a lot going on right now, although you can tell inside there's a bit of hustle and bustle. People actually doing jobs and things inside.
And Drax heads straight in. If there's a front desk or something.
Not particularly. It's a bit like you've just walked straight into the actual police desk area, so it's just like lots of sort of desks and papers and guards sort of getting their assignments for the day and being sent off, and there's a couple of people coming in to report crimes, and like a sort of modern day police station, just from the medieval times. And you can see in the sort of backs that there's cells in the back, so thick iron barred cells, and there's a little bit of a smell coming from that direction. Obviously they've not been cleaned recently.
Yeah, you probably sort of just have a little look around, but just sort of grab the first sort of guard and go, Arton around?
And he'll look at you and go, over in the back by the cells, mounds of paper, you can't miss the man. And he'll just carry on walking.
No, I head over in that direction.
Yeah, and you see Artin, where the soldier said he would be, on looking at a desk absolutely filled with so much paper. You don't think you've seen this much paper in your life as what's on this man's desk right now. And he's sort of picking up random bits, and he looks like there's no pattern to it, but you can tell he's certainly looking and picking up exactly what he means to be picking up, and reading and making notes and rereading and putting down. And occasionally a guy will walk up to him and he'll just go, you're in the west end today, go to the slums, without even looking at them. He'll just point them in the direction of where they should be.
Drax pulls his hood not off but back a bit, so his face is a bit better seen. And just go, morning.
Oh, you returned safely. When you didn't return the same day, I was getting ever so slightly worried. Did you manage to find Clarkson?
In a way, I was just interested. Why so interested in the man? Must not be rare for a person to come into town and then disappear a few days later or so.
No, you are correct. However, he was here a little longer than most and made a couple of friends who were worried about him. So they asked me to look into it.
May I ask who they were?
Can I ask why you're asking? I would hate to be giving people's names to someone without exactly knowing why.
Well, business. Well, truth of the matter is, he wasn't as crazy a wizard as you believe he was. He succeeded at what he was trying to do.
And what was he trying to do? Exactly? Because all I know is he was running around ranting about getting his metal stick enchanted.
Yes, I assume probably a tuning fork or some aspects of a focus of some sort to help him jump to, I believe, the Feywilds.
Why on earth would he want to go to the Feywilds? This sounds like you're just making nonsense up now.
Well, as we ran into some Fey folk in the forest, who, from the sounds of it, were tricked by him, but primarily he used and Drax will dig through his bag a little bit and pull out the bit of parchment. He sketched the altar with all the runes and everything on. Put that down. He used that little stick and this altar to jump to the Feywild for whatever purpose he chose.
Do me a favour, make me a persuasion check with advantage, please.
Oops, got that on DM again.
That's
But
fine.
that was 23.
It was. So he'll look down at the sketch and go, wow, okay. Not quite sure why the weirdo would want to go to the Feywilds, but seems this is evidence enough. I'll let Lady Gwyneth know. Hopefully it'll get her off my back.
Lady Gwyneth. May I ask who exactly that is?
He'll give you a brief description of her. You recognise the woman as the woman that was in the bar this morning, speaking to the other gentleman about the missing children.
Intriguing. Also, may I ask, do you know where Clarkson was staying? Not to be rude or anything, but as I say, he's gone to the Feywild, and I very much doubt he will return anytime soon. If he's got any knowledge or left anything behind, it might help us at least settle her mind if she knows why.
Oh, well, he started off in the inn that I met you guys in, and then he actually, for the last day before he disappeared, he was given a room in Lady Gwyneth's house, but he didn't leave anything behind. She didn't have anything to bring to me to help me find him. She says he didn't leave a thing, took everything with him when he disappeared.
Interesting. Just, I'm a person of arcane means as well, and curiosity is something I haven't, well, you can say a bit of an addiction to. But job well done, I presume?
Yes, job very well done. Where is the rest of your party? Don't tell me you lost them all in the forest and I'm going to have to send another search party out.
They must have all stopped to have a chat with the little old woman barking on the streets with a bell or something.
Oh, fucking Widow Midge, are you serious? She's still doing that. At this point, I will say the rest of you will have made your way there if that's where you were heading for.
I missed a few minutes, but do you mind just give me a quick recap as to what happened with Widow Midge? Or anyone?
Nothing more than what she said to you. Most of the party gave her a coin or two. Russell gave her the weather report for the next day, and I think that was about it.
Okay, thank you.
That was it.
I just hope Russell's a bit better with his weather report than the normal weather report people.
You'll hear, as you walk in, guys, you'll hear Artin turn to one of the guards and go, "Do me a favour, can you please stop fucking Widow Midge from annoying the gentry today? I don't need more of them coming in here moaning. We've got enough on our plates, please." And you'll watch the soldier go, "Yes, boss," and walk out and make his way to the square.
I couldn't help but overhear you tell your guards to get Widow Midge to move. I don't see what the issue is. Why can't she do it? Why can't you just let her do her thing?
It's not to get her to move, but she tends to harass the gentry about the missing children.
Well, perhaps if you were doing your job, she wouldn't need to.
Poor. Okay. He's gonna. That kind of shuts him down, actually. He did not appreciate that. So he'll pull out 20 golds from the drawer beside him, just from a little box, pop it on his desk, and go, "There's your reward. If that'll be all, you may leave."
It's a big bag of coin to be keeping in your desk, isn't it? But, where are you getting that from?
The local government, all of them, all of the this is Becca stuttering, not him. All of the local guardsmen get some money to be able to give rewards and things for people that do the job when we're a bit short-staffed, especially now they're dragging most of our men away to go somewhere else and do something else that they're not telling us about.
I inside check that because I'm smelling bullshit.
Yeah, insight check it.
Yeah, Drax just picks up the bag of gold and says, "Thank you for doing business," and sort of just gives Nico a sort of like, "What the fuck you doing,
As far as you can tell, he's being honest. There is no ill-gotten gains in that drawer.
So where are your employees being taken and by whom? Just out of interest.
Ramfield, the human government in Ramfield is recalling that, well, not recalling them, there are men, but calling them to go there and then sending them off somewhere. We're not given any more information than that. We just have to send a certain amount of guards over there, and we're told we're not to replace them. We just cope with what we've got left.
No, my apologies. I didn't realise you were short-staffed.
Yeah, well, more short-staffed. I'd be less short-staffed if my men didn't stop fucking disappearing. I sent a group of them out to Griffin's Peak about 3 days ago and they've still not returned. It's not that much of a hard job. I don't know where they've gone.
Missing people seems to be a recurring theme here.
You think I'm not aware of that. I'm quite very much aware of that and trying to deal with it. But it's hard when I've got, like, no staff.
Okay.
If you want
Just
to
look at the
help, you
rest of.
can go and try and find my men, rather than sitting here questioning me.
Well, you're the man in charge. You're the best one to question. I'm sorry if I don't. We don't want to go in, into the unknown. We just want to get some information. Sorry.
He'll take a breathe. You watch him take a breather, and you can feel him counting to 10 and sort of calming down. He goes, "You're right, I'm sorry. Currently, it's very stressful. I'm being torn from pillar to post. Everything seems to be going wrong. The minute they pulled away half of my guards, everyone decided to that point try and cause trouble. And it's about balancing, and right now I'm not balancing very well. So yes, if you feel like lending a hand and doing something useful, Griffin's Peak is where I sent them to. If you manage to find them and bring them back to me, I can give you 50 gold for it. There should be 3 or 4 of them. That's how many I sent out anyway.
All right, no problem. Yeah, I'll leave you alone unless anyone else wants to bother.
I step forward and it is such a shame when a pillar of a community has, like such as yourself, has so much put upon them they start to crumble. But I must ask, surely the nobles should be made aware of missing children. It's something that is affecting their town.
They are aware. The problem with Widow Midge is she's not trying to make them aware, she's trying to get money from them.
Ishida at this point is getting a little impatient. If anyone's kind of standing next to him, like they can sense a bit of impatience coming from him, saying, "So our first task is to find your guards, so that we can focus on the missing children. Is that what I'm understanding?"
I mean, if you want to go looking for the missing children, you're more than welcome to do that as well. They've all been disappearing from the slums area. If you feel like going to have a look round, have a look round. Maybe you'll find something that the rest of us missed. Leave me, we've searched it from top to bottom.
I start walking out.
Did I say something to upset him? Looking at the rest of you.
He is a complex individual.
Isn't everyone? Anyway, was there anything else? Can I get back to what I was doing?
One quick question, if I may. These guards that went missing, you wouldn't happen to have a rough sort of names, maybe an idea what they look like, just in case the world can be a bit rough and it's good to shout someone's name if you're looking for them.
Well, their names were Darrow, Mikus, Alec, and Numeria. 3 guys, 1 woman. Just look like regular guards. So, armor probably would have their helmet on, so not very.
Darrow,
Yeah.
Mikis, Numeria, and sorry, I
Alec.
missed that last one.
Alec.
Thank you. We'll be sure to keep an eye out for them.
Thank you.
As I go away, I will pause, reach into my bag, pull out another scone. Just do know the paperwork. You want to keep your belly full. It keeps your temper a bit more even.
He's gonna look at you slightly weird and take the scone and put it just on the side of his desk while still looking at you.
I will happily smile, turn around, and walk after Ishida.
I would have been standing outside the gate waiting for everyone else to come. Hello?
I'll just give him a nod as I leave.
He will nod back, kinda. He's being polite, he really doesn't want to be interacting with you, but he's gonna do it anyway. Who's left inside? Is there anyone left inside?
Yeah, I'm still in
I'll be
there.
the last one to walk out, just observing him the whole time, and then slowly back away and walk out, just taking in all as much as I can before I leave.
He seems to go back to doing what he was doing, going over paperwork, reading different bits of paper, writing notes. Doesn't touch the scone.
Yeah, just before I leave, thank you for all your invaluable help here. I'm sure
Catch
this
up with the
town would
rest
be a
then,
lot
carry
more
on away.
someone like you.
Oh, sorry, Colin, what was that?
Just saying thank you for all the information here. I'm sure the place would be much worse without someone like yourself at the helm.
At least someone thinks so. Now, if you could tell everyone else that, that would be fantastic. And he'll go back to his work. And sorry, Scott, what did you say?
It's nothing, it's fine.
Cool. So yeah, you walk back out into the square. Where's your next destination?
It seems we have two choices. We can either choose to go and help the find these guards, which involves leaving the city, leaving the town, or we can spend a bit of time here. I prefer the latter, but I'll leave it up to everyone else. I do not expect you to follow me, nor do you should expect me to follow you blindly without reason.
I feel as we're in the village anyway, we might be worth checking out the slums even briefly. And I get the sense that he does not seem to be in the bandit's pocket. He seems to be too hard pressed.
I would also think that, guards going missing in the woods, they can take care of themselves. These people are obviously, they must be at least somewhat competent. But kids, not going to be able to defend themselves if push comes to shove, I don't think.
I think you're right. I think staying here and pursuing these missing children is the way forward, at least for me.
Really? We've been offered 50 gold to go find some guards. I think it's a pretty easy payday.
What is your problem today? Just gonna like give a wide-eyed look to Draxus, like what the fuck?
Oh, we need supplies and stuff. Just going to look for some children that's obviously been kidnapped. Ain't going to help pay us.
I mean, if your little friend there was suddenly taken away from you, wouldn't you be worried? And wouldn't you want to be reunited with him as soon as possible?
Drax sort of just lifts up his arm. The little dragon runs, jumps, flies, and then he just clicks his fingers, and it just literally just a wisp of purple mist floats across it, and it just vanishes. It can't be taken from me. And he clicks again, and he's back on his shoulder again in the same peculiar shimmering mist.
If only a parent could do that to the missing kid.
So
Not all
the
parents are worth it.
so the familiar obviously stays with you, but
I
is
was
your
looking at your little
family
companion on
gone?
your shoulder going, that truly is fascinating. Is that a natural thing, or did you have to learn that from somewhere?
Scott, can I ask, can you not hear Colin? Because you keep talking over him.
No, I can't hear him at all, sorry.
Just checking, because I know you sometimes have that problem on a Monday with Amy, so.
But can you hear me at all? Hello?
Try again, Colin.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Hear you now. Apologies for that.
That's okay. So yeah, I turn to Draxus and say, so the familiar you can recall, but suppose your traveling companion was taken from you? Would you sit back and explore a payday then?
He usually comes back just looking straight at Nico.
Look, we'll finish up this conversation later. We're going for the kids. Alright? Remember who's in charge.
Fine, but first I need to head over there, and he'll gesture towards the cry.
Yeah. I believe a few other people wanted to stop at the Swiftfoot Crier as well. I saw another missing poster with has said to report at the Swiftfoot Crier also, so it might be worth while we're here to check it out.
Drax will turn to Russell and pull out the scone you gave him yesterday. Do you make these?
I do.
Well, this might be of better use to you because it is not to me. And he'll pull out the magic book we found in the cave and hand it to you.
Oh, this is very curious. Hang on a minute. Let me have a little look around. Hang on. Oh my, that is quite an interesting book. Thank you, my man.
Yeah, you're personally welcome. And here, and he'll give you 4 gold along with Ladinia and Ashida. He'll give 4 gold to. In turn to Nico. Do you want to hold on to your money or shall I carry on holding on to it?
You keep holding on to it.
Actually, when Draxus offers me the 4 gold, I'll kind of move his hand away towards Ladinia. I believe she paid for me last night. It's only fair if I pay her back.
I will point out, I'm not exactly sure everybody actually knows Draxus's name. Only Russell does.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of in terms of RP as opposed to kind of
Yeah,
Drax's name.
Yeah, he'll just sort of slide it over to Ladinia.
Oh, there's no trouble. You were indisposed, and I assumed that you would be staying, so think nothing of it.
It's only fair that once someone does a favor for you, particularly if it's a lady, that you repay them as soon as possible. I can only thank you for what you did for me last night.
These are gold. It was a copper or two I spent. Just pay me back in kind next time.
Oh, okay. He doesn't understand the concept of gold or silver or money as a whole.
Well, if neither of you want it, I'm happy to keep it.
Then I shall take it. I shall repay her back at a later time.
Drax will turn to Silas. Just go. Unfortunately, you weren't there for the beginning of the deal. Maybe next time.
And the short version goes, that's a very fair point. Be sure that the task was worth doing in the first place, so the price I pay.
Indeed. Yeah, Drax will put his stuff away and start heading over to the cry.
Can I just have a quick word with Silas, because I think we're still waiting for backup. You seem quite adept at being able to speak with people without being forthcoming. Is that a skill you've learned yourself, or is that something that was taught to you?
A bit of both.
I do not quite understand this idea of not being forthcoming with with information and choosing to dance around the topic, if you will.
Yes, I'll half smart and go, well, when you learn to dance, things always seem a little bit better. I'm just giving a little tap on the shoulder and just kind of, you'll figure it out, I'm sure.
It doesn't sit well with me. But anyways, we are in this together at the moment, so shall we continue?
That whole sort of standing with the arm out going, lead on.
Neither your backpack. I think we're going towards the slum.
Cool.
Quick question, Becca. The thing that I picked up, have I actually deciphered what it does, or would I still be identifying?
You will, because you've had it on for quite a while, you'll have attuned to it now, so you'll know what it does. I believe the description was in what I linked when I linked it, but I can relink it if you need it.
No, I've still got it there.
Cool.
We were heading to the Swiftfoot Crier.
Cool.
At which point, I just also put my hand on Cyrus's shoulder and I do feel slightly bad I didn't get anything for this, but perhaps you would like this ring. It's geared more to one of a more stealthy nature. I assume this is something you are better at than myself.
You're absolutely sure. I wouldn't presume to take it.
I have the banner and no ability to disguise what I am. I do not see how it would benefit me.
Then if you're sure, I'll take the ring.
Cool. I believe you should still have what the ring does.
Band of iridescence.
Mm-hmm. So you are making your way to the slums, correct?
To the Swiftfoot, I think it
Oh
was.
yes, the Swiftfoot Crier, sorry. Brain is not quite in gear.
Perhaps we should have asked Artin about that missing persons poster. It does seem strange to be able for a request to be put separate.
Okay. So you make your way over to the Swiftfoot Crier. As I said, you can see sort of a couple of teenage boys running out with a bell and scroll in their hand, and they start heading off in different directions and just sort of spouting the local news. So you hear you do hear about the missing children from them, and they mention the Shady Spigot opening today, and so on and so forth. A couple of tidbits that you've heard so far. So, are you all going in?
Yeah, I should know what it is. So
Yeah, Drax is going in.
Yeah, I'm going in.
How far away is the doc's provisions from here?
Sort of across the street and about 3 doors down.
I'm just gonna have a look in the window there. Leave those guys to go inside the Swiftfoot.
Cool.
I might join you, Lavinia. There's a lot. It looks like there's a lot of people going in and out there, and people of my size tend to get in the way.
Is there an alternative entrance? Like a side door, back door, anything like that?
To the Swiftfoot, make me a perception check. Nope. You barely see the front door. But no, you cannot see a side door anywhere.
You can convince this new ring to my precious. Wait, doing a thing? Oh wait, oh shit. If any other entrance, I'll just go in just normally then.
Cool. So you walk in and you see sort of a dwarf with a very big bald patch on his head, kind of like Sam's actual user picture, kind of like that. And from his mouth sort of hangs a worn wooden pipe, which he uses to emphasise points in his speech. So you watch him sort of take it out and start poking it, not poking it at someone, he's not sort of poking someone with it, but sort of as he's talking to them, he'll use it to sort of make a point. And he's moving about like a man that has too much to do and not enough time. He's one of those kind of people, like so much to do, not enough time in the day. And he's surrounded by sort of a group of people, and he'll be sending them off in different directions. You go and investigate this, you that, bring me the news, I want the news. And he'll sort of look up and see you come in and go, what can I do for you, gentlemen?
I was hoping to find some supplies if possible, if you sell it.
What sort of supplies were you looking for? We don't normally sell too much, and certainly not to people I've never met before, but I can see what I can do.
Ink, paper, and if possible, finer ink and paper if you can.
Well, as you can see, normal ink and paper are abundant in here. We are meant to be the centre for news, but at the moment I've lost my best information gatherer, so not quite the centre for news at the moment. Finer ink and paper I could probably do you. Are you talking stuff to make spells for, or actual magical paper?
Stuff to transcribe.
And how much of each were you looking for?
50 gold's worth.
Of both normal ink and paper and magical ink and paper, or just of the magical ink and paper?
50 gold of the magical, and say 5 silver worth of paper with a little bit of ink. As well, if you've got charcoal pencils as well.
I can just about do that as well. Follow me, and he'll sort of lead you to the back, where you'll watch him cast Mage Hand, and the Mage Hand will go up and start picking some ink off the top shelves, and he'll gather some paper, and he'll put it in 2 separate piles. Funnily enough, roughly about the same amount of paper and ink for each of the price you're getting. Obviously, the magical paper and ink is more expensive, so there's less of it. As in, less than, you get what I mean, my brain. And he will go to a drawer and pull out a charcoal pencil, pop that there as well. Go. 50 gold and 5 silver.
This pulls out, puts it straight into his hand.
Thank you. You look like a fairly capable sort, and by the fact that you want magical ink and paper, it tells me that you're certainly at least slightly arcane. If in your wanderings you happen to come across my best newsman, Janko, could you let me know where you find him? He disappeared. He's been doing investigations into something. He's really doesn't tell me what he's doing until after he's done it, the idiot. But if on your travels you see him, will you let me know? Send him back to me. I can make it worth your while at least.
I can definitely keep an eye out, but a little bit of direction would definitely be a hand, but I understand if he's not spoken.
Last I heard, he was looking into everyone disappearing, which is ironic considering he has now disappeared himself. But he was looking into the guards going, the children going, and now he's gone.
So he was looking into the slums and the guards. Interesting. I can definitely keep an eye out.
Perfect. If you do happen to return him to me, I can offer you one of two. You certainly look like a person that would enjoy a magical item or two. So I can offer you one of two things. I can offer you a clockwork amulet or a horn of silent of alarm. You can make the decision when you bring him back to me.
I'll keep it in mind. Thank you for doing business.
Enjoy your day.
Pack up the paper into his bags and turn around and head off.
Can I ask a very, very silly question? This is an Azuzu question. This is basically a newspaper making company?
Town criers, yes.
Right, I thought
But
this
he
was something a
dabbles
bit...
he dabbles in arcane stuff.
Okay, I thought this was a bit more. That's why I got excited coming here. My apologies.
What did you think it was?
I thought it was kind of like a magic shop or some form of like a shop, really. I didn't realize it was just fires. That's a Azuzu mistake.
So, are we done in the crier?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm following them out.
I believe so.
Yeah, I'm done.
So we will shift on over to our toy shop friends. So you're just standing outside looking in the window.
Are there children outside?
There are not children outside, but when you look in the window, there are plenty of children inside.
I'm actually going to head inside then.
Okay. And running the docks provisions, you find this gentleman. You see him, he's surrounded by kids, and he's playing with he's using one of his toys. He's a grandfatherly looking gnome, and he's winding up a small trinket. Once he pops it down, it sort of bounds around the countertop, whirring and popping in an old-fashioned way, before coming to an abrupt halt and bursting into flames. The children love it. They think this is absolutely part of the trick, and the elderly gnome sort of quickly puts out the fire and smiles at them, and then sees you guys coming in and sort of looks up and goes, "Ah, adults for the first time today. Well, that's it for now, children. If you leave, you can come back later." And he'll sort of shoo them out the door.
Actually, before you shoot them off, I wish to just discuss something with them quickly.
He'll give you a weird look and go, "Okay, I will stay around, of course. I'd hate to, considering what's going on, leave them with strangers."
That's exactly the point. I'm just this bright smile as best she can, gets down to their level, and I know this is maybe a scary story for you, but have any of your friends gone missing?
They'll sort of look at each other and then look at you and go, "Are you a fish lady? What are you?"
I am. Yes, I am a fish lady, and my name's Lavinia, and my large friend here is named Russell.
Oh my god, is he a plant person?
He might be.
I
What's
will
it?
pull out a like a dried seed pod from a bit of my clothing, get her hold it out, and have it just pop open in front of them.
They'll look back to Doc and go, look, he can do kind of what you can do. Only you do it with toys. Look, he did it with that. That's so amazing.
I know, isn't that great? And I use thaumaturgy to make the sound of the crashing ocean just circling around the shop.
Oh wow, you're so cool. It's so cool. I like you. And this the littlest one sort of walks up to you, and he's sort of intently watching your finger motions as you're casting the spell. And he'll go to you. My name's John.
Well, hello there, John.
My older brother went missing.
Oh gosh, that's so terrible. Did he say anything, or was it just one day there and one day gone?
He'll sort of shake his head and go, Mum sent him out to get something from the shop and he never came back. No one could find him.
Well, we'll be doing our best to make sure that he is returned to your family as quickly as possible.
You're so magical, I think you'll be able to do it. Everyone else says they're trying, but I don't think they are, because if they were, he'd be home by now.
Now, unfortunately, Mr. Arton is very overworked. The capital city is withdrawing his guards as quickly as he can hire them. He is doing his best, though.
If you say so. Just bring him back.
Luckily, he has myself and Russell and our friends, and we are going to do our job that he has been too short-handed to accomplish.
Are your friends as cool as you are?
They are a motley crew, but they are battle-hardened and ready to help, I am sure.
They look super confused at you right now. All of the kids are just like, there were some long words.
See, in that moment of confusion, I would like to just like sidestep all the kids, go up to the toy shop owner, and just ask him a simple question.
Mm-hmm.
They make any music boxes?
I don't have any in stock right now, but I do make them. Why?
Just a thought that occurred to me. If you don't have any, it's fine.
I do not, I'm afraid. I do have this, and he'll pull out I'm trying to find where I wrote what one of these toys would be. He brings out a tiny little mechanical raven and pops it on the counter and presses its beak, and it starts fluttering its wings and flies up a little way and then lands down. And you watch the kids suddenly sort of get entranced by this again and rush back to him and go, oh, what else have you got? Come on, I want to see what else you've got. And he'll go, I should get back to entertaining the children. But do me a favour, I used to be a bit like what you guys seem to be doing. Be safe. And he'll sort of pull up one of his sleeves and show you sort of scars up and down his arm, and he'll sort of give you a wink and he'll go back to entertaining the kids.
John, just one last little thing.
Yeah.
You said your brother was going towards the shop. Which shop was this?
He was going towards the mixing pots. He was getting some medicine for my mum. She wasn't very well.
You've given us so much to start with. You are such a wonderful young child. She kind of ruffles his hair awkwardly and then stands up again.
When you come back, will you do more cool stuff, like make cool noises? Chrissy would love it. When you bring him home.
I turned to Russell. So we have a place to start, at least.
We do indeed. We do indeed. Shall we go and find our companions?
Just a moment. How much for the little mechanical raven?
This thing not too hard to make. 2 gold.
Put 2 gold on the table. Pick up have the raven fly off towards one of the kids and goes, take care of him until I come back for him. And just have the kids just play with the raven in the corner while I ask the shopkeep. And for a music box, how much would it cost to have one fashioned for me?
Depends how personalised and how quickly you would need it. What were you thinking?
It will be an immediate rush, but and what I'll do is I'll have Cyrus pull out one of a spare bit of paper, parchment from his notebook and just scroll down this description for it and slide it across the.
Okay.
I'll send you the thing once
Perfect.
we've wandered off.
So he'll look and go, it'll take me a couple of days to make, and I'll give you a price for it once you've sent me what it is, and I'll be able to give you sort of roughly how much you'd be looking for.
Thank you.
What other kind of things are being sold in this shop?
What did you say, sorry?
What other kind of things are being sold in the shop?
So let me have a look. So you see on the top shelf, sitting on a mannequin's head, a sort of what you would assume would be a nightcap. So it's sort of like Wee Willie Winky's nightcap. So a sort of a cross between a witch's hat and a sleeping hat, and it's blue with moons and stars on it. You can see sort of a glass orb that's filled with moving smoke that looks like 2 people dancing. Sorry, 2 seconds.
Oh, it's amazing what people can craft these days, isn't it?
I know, that orb is just exquisite.
It's nice to see there's people here that can bring a smile to people's faces.
Sorry guys, I'm back. Really sorry.
As we are sort of wandering about the shop, I'm gonna try and just quietly druidcraft. Just try and be a little bit subtle about it, but just have randomly like any of the animal looking objects make the appropriate noise. Just using a bit of druidcraft.
So you sort of the only animal sort of looking thing is the raven that's currently fluttering around with the kids, and you start making it sort of coo, and the kids are just like fascinated by the fact that this bird has suddenly started making bird noises. But funny enough, as you walk sort of in that direction, there is a tiny little brooch that's sort of hanging from a little stand, and as you walk past it, it starts turning into random flowers. And you kind of recognise each one of them. So each one of them is a flower that you're aware of and that you know. So you see like a poppy and sort of just a rose and things. But as you walk away, it stops doing it. And Doc looks at you and goes, "Huh, fascinating. I made that ages ago and never managed to get it to work, but it seems to like you."
It's a curious little thing. Can I ask who you made it for?
No one in particular. The idea for it came to me one night while I was sleeping. I get some random ideas while in my sleep. I'm a toy maker. Some of the best things I come up with are dreams. Just popped to me one night in my dreams. As I said, I managed to make it, but never got it working until apparently now. I tell you what, considering it likes you so much and it's never done that for anyone else, you can have it. It's been here at least a year because it doesn't work for anyone else. No one's wanted it, so may as well go to the person it likes.
How much would you charge for it, sir?
As I said, it has been here a year and no one has touched it, so it is free to a good home. It's taking up space.
Only if you're sure, sir, and if you'll accept a little donation towards your next venture. And I'll drop, I'll drop 4 gold on the table.
Oh no, that is far too much. He'll push 3 gold back. He'll go, I accept the 1 gold donation. Make me a persuasion
You
check.
make people happy. What was that, sorry?
Make me a persuasion check. Okay, yeah, he's taking the 4 gold. He'll be like, oh, fine. Just look after it for me.
Oh, I will. There's too few people in the world that can make children smile, so I like to see people who can do it do well.
I tell you what, it's a better profession than chasing monsters and dragons.
Well, the world needs us both. Good day to you, sir.
Good day. And he'll sort of wave you off as you walk out. And sort of, yeah, as you pop the little brooch on, it just starts changing into random flowers as you go. And it doesn't stop because it's attached. I'm assuming you attach it to your clothing.
I'll likely use it to fasten my cloak.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just sitting there, changing into random flowers. So is that people done in the crier and the toy shop?
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done as well.
Yep.
See?
So where are you all off to next?
Just as we head out, I kind of keep an eye out for the other half of the party.
You'll sort of both be coming out of each of the places you've been to roughly at the same time. So you'll sort of just see each other across the way. Because you're only sort of across the road and a couple of doors down. So as you walk out, you see them walking out of the crier.
Now that we've gathered our things, I think we should start this. I wouldn't call it an investigation, but we should start getting more information as to what happened.
Well, we discovered a place to start. Apparently, one of the children went missing near a apothecary called the Mixing Pot over in the slums.
I think that should be our start point.
Sorry, just to clear that up, the Mixing Pots is actually in the town where you are. He was being sent there to get something and never came home.
Oh, right, thanks.
What about the girl that went missing? The newest one. Her mum's in the slums. We could go and speak to her.
Well, if you say, well, if we're all insistent we go and do this, it'd be smart to head to this mixing pot, see if they saw the child before. Well, at least you'll be able to work out if the child was kidnapped before or after he got there, and then head to the slums while we're nearby.
I'll look at like Draxus. I say, why you seem to not be particularly keen about this mission. Is there any particular reason why?
Well, I do not gain anything from it.
But surely, sorry, Sam.
Ignore him. Just ignore him. He's just being an asshole.
Well, I learned from the best.
I will fucking side eye you so bad. Let's get going, shall we?
Let's I'm going to start walking in a direction I think the slum is, not actually ever having asked directions where it is.
So is that where you're off to first, the slums?
Yes. Well, at least I would like to think so.
Drax is heading to the mixing pot.
Oh, I thought it was the same place.
No, it is not the same place.
The mixing pot's right here in the town, you said, correct?
Sorry, mixing pot. Mixing pot it is, sorry.
Cool. So you walk for a little bit because you didn't get any directions, but you eventually find it. It's a relatively small shop, set amongst sort of several taller buildings, so a bit like the Stuart Little House. As you sort of enter the shop, there's lots of mixtures bubbling in sort of small glass vials on open flames, and they're all various colours, but none of them smell pleasant. And sort of lining the shelves behind them are sort of odd elixirs swirling with sort of thick, viscous fluids, and some of them are giving off weird glinting light. And sort of moving around at the back, you see the gentleman that runs the place. He's a dirty-looking human who appears to be sort of early to mid-50s, and you watch him as he's sort of popping around, fall over his own feet, sort of catch himself. It's like, fuck's sake, I need to learn to walk. You would think by 50 I'd stop falling over my own feet. And his clothing is very stained from all his potion mixing and things. And he sort of catches you walking and he goes, "Oh, hello, customers. Nice to meet you. I'm Durham Potts. How can I help today?"
Nice to meet you as well. My name is Ishida Yuichi. I find that a bit of stretching and yoga in the morning would usually help you keep balance.
"Oh, no, I don't think that would work for me. I have just been born clumsy, my sir. My mum used to tell me I could fall over nothing. Butterfingers are us, is me."
There was a story I heard of a man. There was a story I heard once. They said, I think it was a sheep in a kettle shop. I think it was. I believe that was, yes, a sheep in a kettle shop. I think that's what you should call yourself.
Interesting. I may start using that phrase. Potentially. Less, well, more poetic than clumsy old fool, I tell you that much.
Much more poetic.
How can I help?
Well, myself and my companions, we've been overhearing some tale of children disappearing, and we heard that the last child who disappeared was around here, and we wanted to perhaps get a bit more information as to what's happening. As I'm sure you understand, the plight of children disappearing is quite tragic.
Oh, of course, of course. Terrible things, terrible things. Artin came in here asking about 3-4 weeks ago now. Apparently one of the children was on their way to me before they were taken, but they never made it to me. I had not seen them. So how can I help you guys?
Could I, looking at this guy, is he being honest with that statement?
Insight check.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna do that as well.
So
but
one
I
of you
can-
do it with advantage.
My insight is a 3. What's yours?
5.
Go for it.
He is being perfectly honest. The child in question never made it to his shop.
Such a shame when children go missing.
It is. It's absolutely terrible. I wish I could do more to help, but... And in the middle of his sentence, he'll catch a potion overflowing from the heat. And he's like, oh, no, 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 no. And he'll run over and he'll turn the heat off and he'll be like, oh, for God's sake. That was the last of those ingredients as well, for goodness sake. Anyway, sorry.
What were you making, if you don't mind me asking?
That was meant to be. Well, it's not going to be now. It was meant to be a potion of stonehide. But that was the last of those ingredients, so...
A potion of stonehide. And now Cloud, probably once he first walked in, he started sniffing the potions, even the bad ones, just sort of examining the textures and everything and looking at them. Then he would like pull himself away, hearing that now.
Cloud has started sniffing the potions, has he?
I was about to say he's walked a
Yeah.
fair distance. He got all the way in here.
Well, Elspeth's by herself now.
I didn't even pick up on that.
Nah, neither did
I was like, do I
but,
point it out or do I let him continue?
Says how much, how crashed I am. Drax is sort of like taking a real interest in all the potions and everything, and at that he sort of turns away and goes, Stonehide.
Yes, I'm trying a new recipe for it. But obviously not now.
May I ask, how we, well, what was the aim of it and how you were going about it?
Sorry, trying to find my notes. Well, with the potion of stonehide, when you drink the potion, you basically, I don't know if you've heard of the spell Stone Skin, but you gain that for an hour, or until you choose to end it. But I'm missing the last part of my ingredients now.
Well, I'm a bit of a dabbler in herbs and remedies and such. If you wouldn't mind sharing the secret, I can definitely keep an eye out and help with that if possible.
Of course, that would be fantastic. I'm looking for a plant called the Devil's Maw. It's a rare plant. It's got a large pod and dried sort of tendrils. It doesn't grow very many places. Last place I collected it was up at Griffin's Peak, but other than that, I haven't seen it anywhere else. If you do happen to come across any on your travels, please, that would be greatly appreciated.
Devil's Maw.
Would Enya not be able to assist you in this matter as well? I can just side eye our companion over here. Her expertise in plants could be helpful.
I think you mean Russell.
That would not be myself, that would be Russell.
Or did I get it mixed up there? Ah, my apologies.
Not the fish, the bush.
Yeah, that's, I got the names wrong way around. Sorry.
I can presume that this is some sort of magical plant.
You've heard of it before? He's correct when he says it's very rare. Think Venus flytrap, but bigger. And sentient.
So Little Shop of Horrors, right?
Yes. But less talky. More bitey.
Somewhat dangerous ingredient, but if we're up that way, we'll see if we can't harvest some. Maybe who knows? Perhaps if we can get some seeds, we might be able to get a small patch of it grown for you somewhere a bit more convenient.
That would be amazing. I tell you what, if you manage to bring it to me, or in fact if you manage to bring the plant to me itself, I will make you a potion of the stone hide out of it. If you manage to bring me seeds that I can plant and make my own little patch of them, I will give you 20% off my shop. Forever. Or the stuff in my shop, not 20% off my shop before anyone's permitted to tease me.
There goes my real estate empire.
Start with the herbalist shop, then move across and just take over the whole town.
So our Thursday campaign, we're thinking about buying a pub. So
Oh, the
Why
wine
don't you
you
think
get
about
to
buying
lose
a
their
pub?
lodge. Breaking.
Oh dear. Jax will sort of step forward and just go, yeah. Well, with that, then I'd definitely be a reason to have a look into it. But until then, you'll just start carrying on, just nosing around the shop and sort of gesture for Ishida to carry on.
So this is just kind of like a apothecary where potions are made, from my understanding. Okay. Do you know why children would want to visit you?
His mother was sick.
what gives you a weird up and down look, like what the fuck are you? What the lady said. A lot of parents are, certainly from that area, tend to be lone parents. When they get ill, they send the older child to me to get the medicine they require.
Did you know all these children that have disappeared?
I'm aware of them. I don't know them all personally, but it's a small village.
This may seem a bit weird, and I apologize the nature of my question, but would you perhaps say that all the children that have disappeared are, in one means or the other, the eldest of the group or eldest of the children of the family?
No, they are not. There has been a couple of the younger ones go, leaving behind the older brother or sister. A couple of the young children have gone.
Hmm. I wonder. Sorry, Colin. Go ahead.
Go ahead, you finish first.
Um, I was just gonna say, kind of again speaking out loud, but like, I wonder then whether they're being targeted because they are in that moment while they're coming here, they're on their own. I'm not suggesting that you are part of it. However, it just seems a bit of a coincidence that quite a few of them have been targeted and picked up while they were coming here.
I do not know where you got that information from, but only the one was coming to me. I've not had Artin come in and tell me of any more that were travelling to my shop. A lot of them have been, from what I gather, just running odd jobs, errands, going to all different places, and just been taken off the street.
Side note, that may have been Azuzu messing up, but oh well, it's now said.
So you say you are aware of some of these children? I hate to impose, but would you know the general area they stayed? Just so we have a line of progression from him setting out to getting here.
They have all been commoner children from the slums area. The slums is not a huge area. We're not a huge village. So they all start off from there and just... from what I gather, there's been a couple that have been abducted not very far from their house, and others have made it all the way to their destination and been returning, and been snatched then. Can everyone in the party make me a perception check, please?
Oh yeah, first roll of the night. Only took me 200 rolls before that.
Okay, so Draxus's pseudo dragon catches it, Ashida catches it, and Nico catch it. There is a huge ruckus from outside, made by one voice. You just hear a gentleman running around going, "What have you done with her? Where is my girl gone? What on earth has she got? Where has she gone? Give her back now. Someone find my girl, please." And you actually recognise the voice as the gentleman that was in the bar this morning.
Okay, yeah. I will bolt it outside. Just turn,
Same.
push my way through the door, and go outside and see what's going on. I'll approach the guy and try and calm him down first. I'll say, "Calm yourself. What's the issue?"
Make me a persuasion check. See if you can calm him down. He starts to sort of... You think he's going to carry on being an absolute raving lunatic, but he sort of catches himself for a second. He sort of recognises you guys from the bar. And he goes, "Someone has taken Addison. I left her at home. She was doing her schoolwork. I went home. She's not there anymore. She does not leave the house by herself. She's too young. Someone has taken my girl."
Maybe she's entitled to an list.
"She is too young to enlist in the army. She wouldn't."
Out of character. Is he the one, the rich snobby guy?
Yes, he is. There are signs
Hence
of...
this my comment.
Yeah. So he goes, "Someone has broken into my house. There are signs that someone has broken into my house."
I'm gonna turn to Ladinya and Ashida and say, do you think it's worth going to look? I mean, this is going to be the freshest lead we're gonna.
doesn't seem to fit the modus operandi. The other children seem to have left the house alone and been picked up off the street. So either somebody is getting desperate and daring, or it's unrelated.
Either
Or
way,
somebody overheard somebody talking shit about him this morning.
Was anyone else in the house?
No, it was just her. She was doing her work, her schoolwork.
So she was alone.
I've already spoken to Artin at the stockades. He says he's going to do what he can to look for her. I don't fucking believe him with how little he seems to have done with the other children. Although mine's more important.
no child is more important than the other child. But I do understand you're grieving at the moment. Where do you live?
I'm in the Hedgewelt estate, just outside the village to the west. Artin wants whoever's taken her, to be brought to Iron Stockades. I've got a better idea. If you happen to find them, bring them to me. I will give you 200 gold. If you bring whoever has taken my Addison to me. If you bring them to me alive, I will double it. You will get 400 gold.
I'll look at the party. Gold is not an issue for me.
Yeah, I'm not fussed about gold either.
400 gold. That's definitely worth my time.
Forget the gold, just as long as the kids are safe. That's all that matters. Gold we can get elsewhere.
There, the rich, pompous asshole just trying desperately not to break the straight face and say, I fucking knew that if something happened to your prodigy. But I'm keeping my mouth shut and just staring at him for a moment and go, group decision.
Do you think there's anything that we can get from going to his estate, or do we go to the slums and pursue that?
I think we need to address his estate first. If, as it was the most recent one, it could be
Well, if
related,
any,
it could not be related. We need to find out first.
well, if anybody can track, would be the help most useful.
Russell, how are your senses when you were the giant wolf?
Give me a moment to have a think. I need to pull up the sheet. Uh, I've got a pretty good nose in that form, actually, and my hearing gets a little bit sharper. Not a good idea to turn into it in a town like this with so many bells.
If you were not averse to it, we could fashion some sort of lead, and maybe that would be able to pass off an exotic pet.
That would work. Do you have anything like? If we went to your estate or manor or whatever you call your home, would you be averse if do you have something that your daughter, she was wearing, or something that, it would have a scent on it that I could maybe track?
Oh gosh. What? Oh, they left her. She had her shoes off. She was sat at home doing her schoolwork with her shoes off. They left her shoes behind. Would that work?
Should work in theory.
If you think it will help, I'm more than happy for you to come and do what you can. I'm Jerome, by the way, Jerome Winters. We never introduced ourselves earlier.
Right, you didn't?
Mr. Winters, I shall refer you by your title.
Lord, then, if you want my title, but it's not important.
You're right, it isn't important. I'm just
We
any
will go.
opportunity I get to chip him away, I'm going to take it.
He's ignoring you.
We'll go to your house to look for your daughter. But in the meantime, there's a lady around town. I think her name was Midge. Perhaps you should pay her a visit.
Oh, I'm aware of Widow Midge. She has gone. She is not in her normal spot. I ran there first to see if she had any information. She's not there. She's gone.
I suggest you look for her while we look for your daughter. And I'll start walking towards where his house is.
He will give you a weird look and go, "Do you not want the key to get in?"
Give it to that one over there, kind of gesturing towards our party rogue.
I walk up and put the hand out for the key.
He'll pass it over and go, "Just find her. And the person that took her, bring her to me. Do not take her to Artin." And he'll hand you the key and he'll start rushing around again, sort of doing what he was doing before, grabbing people and asking, "Have you seen her? Have you seen her?"
Did you notice that?
Bring her to me.
Exactly.
I think he's subscribing to his companion earliest theories that it's the woman from the wanted poster.
Can only hope. If we're gonna do this, I would suggest we make haste. A scent will only hang around for so long.
Of course, everybody just hurry. And does anybody have any form of rope, just in case we do need to fashion or lead?
I can handle that.
Okay, so you are making your way to the Hedgewick estate, is that what I called it? I really should put all my notes on the same page for the same session. I'm not that organised. Hedgewelt estate. So is that where you're off to?
We get there as quickly as somebody in heavy armor can move.
Okay, so it takes you about 15-20 minutes of walking, and you can definitely tell you're in the posh part of town now. All the houses are like mansions, like, and big estates, and you sort of walk to almost the furthest one away. It's definitely the most opulent looking building, and the gates are open and you walk through, and because he's described it to you, I've decided so you know where you're going, and things are as he says. You can see there was certainly outside there's a couple of sort of bushes and plants sort of knocked over. Looks like the window may have been jimmied open. It's currently fixed now. Money gets things done quickly in this area. But you walk up to the door, which is currently locked.
I unlock it and head inside.
Okay. You walk into what's a very big hallway. Very lavish and extravagant decoration around. And you can see on your left there's a door open. It shows a little lounge area with a little desk facing the outside window, and you can see sort of what looks to be sort of papers and a little pencil, and everything sort of child size built to that little desk and the little chair. And you do know.
How disturbed does the desk look?
fairly disturbed. There's some papers knocked off, and there's a pencil on the floor. It also looks like it's been looked over already. You get the impression, obviously, you're not the first people to come in here and look to see if they could get any clues from it.
So definitely signs of a struggle then.
Yes. But yes, how do you proceed?
So I assume she was studying in here. I look around to see if I can find the shoes that we were promised.
Make me an investigation check. Okay. Yeah, so you spot the shoes sort of kicked to one side under the desk. With that investigation check, you also notice on the desk there is a very childlike drawing of the view outside the window with kids looking like they're having a lot of fun. And then just to the side, this little, what would you assume is a stick figure of a girl that looks really sad that she's not playing.
I pick up the drawing just briefly and shake my head and put it back down before calling over to Russell. I don't want to touch any of those over there. I'm not sure how sensitive your nasal capacity will be.
A good call. There is one other thing I might suggest as a backup. I'm not very familiar with this, but I know that rich people sometimes douse themselves in scented oils and the like. I don't know what you guys call it, but I remember they would make them out of plants and things. I don't know if maybe she had something like that.
Could I do like a check to see if she had any like perfume or anything that she would use more frequently than others?
I believe I would be best set to go into a young lady's bedroom. No offense.
Oh, of course.
So I'm going to head out back into the hallway, see if I can spot which would be her room.
Okay, make me a perception check. Okay, so you notice there's an upstairs, so you assume bedroom upstairs. You walk up there and you can see a door slightly ajar, about two doors down on the right. And you notice the walls are sort of, from what you can see from the slightly ajar door, not a door jar. Pink walls and sort of a canopy over a single bed. You assume that would be her room.
Okay, I head over, just open the door and have a glance around to see if there's a vanity table or anything.
Yeah, you do. I'll keep the same perception roll. You do see a little vanity table sort of tucked in the corner. A couple of kiddie-like makeup. And you do notice a little bottle of perfume on there. Looks very old, but doesn't look like it's been opened in a while.
Okay, then I'm just going to leave that behind and head back down.
Cool.
From what I can tell, she does have a scent, but I believe this may be a special occasion thing rather than an everyday use.
Righto, I'll just go with the shoes. So I will sort of focus and wild shape into my direwolf form. Oh, actually, before I do that, how big were the doors to get in here?
It's a mansion, they're fairly big, you'll be fine.
All right, I will shift into the wolf and I will try and track.
Okay. Make me a... Is it survival? I think it's survival check with advantage because you've got the smell of her shoes.
All right, hang on. It looks good to be a +1, so
You keep your. I'm pretty sure you keep your intelligence stats when you wild shape, don't you?
Yeah, you keep the mental stats. You're getting the wild shapes physical ones.
oh well. In that case, it's survival, and I get the advantage. Do I get the advantage from keen senses?
Yep. Cool. So it takes you not very long, like 20, 30 seconds to pick up the scent, and you start following it, and it seems to be going, rather than back into town, it seems to be going out into the forest. With that roll mixed with her scent, you can also smell the scent of 2 other things. You can't tell what they are, but you can tell there's 2 other beings, creatures, humanoids, beasts, 2 other somethings. The scent's going exactly the same way as hers.
I will quicken my pace.
Looks like he's onto something. Let's go.
Sorry, guys. Just went
You're
AFK
alright.
for a moment. So you are following the scent, yes?
Yes.
Well, we're following the dire wolf who's following the scent.
Yes. So you followed for about 45 minutes. It's getting very close to the hour. By the time you come across sort of a... You're following the main road. It's a very big road that's sort of leading north. And then a dusty path sort of opens up to the west, and the scent veers down there. There's clear signs of sort of recent wagon trails going up this way. And the heat of the sun sort of starts to cool slightly because it was midday, as you fall into sort of long shadows that's cast by one of 3 large rock columns resting at the entrance to what you think, or what you can tell, is a entrance to a large campsite for sort of worn out travellers, just sort of about an hour outside of town. Let me try and bring you to it.
So this is where the trail has led us.
Yes. And this is also where you lose track of the scent.
And based on kind of because I was AFK for a second as well. Based on what you've told us, it seems that there may have been like a fresh set of carriage prints on the road, or was that me mishearing something?
So they're not fresh, but you can tell this is a well-travelled path with carriages.
Could I potentially, a bit of a step back, could I potentially tell that if there was like a new track there at all?
Make me a survival check because you're checking tracks.
8.
No, you've got no idea.
Cool.
Okay, for the people that aren't used to my proper maps, please ignore the numbers on them because I am not good with Photoshop, so I cannot remove the numbers from the maps I randomly Google. So the numbers mean not a thing, other than a nice easy way for me to keep track of what I'm doing in each area. But yeah.
You can go, you are here.
Exactly. So yeah, if you want to pull your tokens onto the board. I will do it for... You'll have to resize them as well, so if you click on them... and sort of use the corner buttons to resize. I swear one day I'll make these squares properly the correct size. One day. Today is not that day.
I can't seem to go do that.
No, we can't resize.
I'll do it then.
Sorry.
No, it's not your fault. My bad.
Roll20 noob question. How does one?
Click on your name on the side. So rather than sort of clicking it to open your character sheet, click and hold and drag it onto the map. There you go.
Ooh, is that your new token?
Indeed, it's as close as Google could get me.
Nice.
There we go. Is everyone round about the right size there?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, no, actually, it doesn't matter. I would have dropped my direwolf form at this point. So
Yes. So, as you sort of move into the entrance this way, you see a wide road sort of circling to the southwest. That way. And sitting on the side of the road is a large post pointing towards different sections of this, what appears to be a camping area. You've got one that says South Trail leads to the pitches, West Road leads to selling grounds, hot springs are on the side of the road before the main campsite, and the furthest sites are currently closed to the public. Is what your sign says there.
So, Russell, where do we head now?
sadly, the trail's gone cold. I can't smell anything more that the trail just vanishes here. Or rather, it just tapers off. Don't think she's gonna be the sort that can just disappear into thin air, though. Maybe take a look for footprints. There were 3 of them. There was her and there was another couple with them, different scents that were going with her.
Are you able to maybe track the other scents? Maybe not just her?
Did the other scents taper off?
Yeah, they all came to sort of a, not so much sort of stop, but it started getting overwhelmed by all the other scents of this area. You think it's well travelled and well used. Yeah, too muddy, too well used.
My nose is only so good, I'm afraid.
Any chance you can tell how far behind we are? Did we catch up to them or anything?
That's a could he?
Sorry, could he what? I missed it.
Would he be able to determine how fresh that trail was? Are we right behind them? Are we a couple of hours behind? Sort of.
Make me an
How long's
intelligence
that been
check.
lingering about?
Yeah, make me an intelligence check. You can't tell for sure. You have a feeling it wasn't bang on fresh, because you know obviously Jerome certainly didn't come running straight to you guys, so you know it's at least a couple of hours old. From what you could tell, it's probably at most about 5 hours is old. It's somewhere between 2 to 5 hours.
About it's a couple of hours up to nearly 5. I mean, it's difficult to track. I mean, this area's got a lot of people coming through, so it's difficult to really pick up anything.
Well, if someone was taking children and such, and he points to the sign that says access to public denied, type thing, it might be a good idea to hide out where people aren't allowed to go.
Can you make me an investigation check, please, Draxus?
Could I assist with this by any chance? By kind of examining again, see if there's any fresh prints around at all?
It's not the prince he's investigating, so I will say no.
Okay.
Okay, that's just enough. Bang on what you needed. You can tell that last one, where it says the furthest sites are currently closed to the public, is very recently added. Probably.
Ooh.
Is it like just paint,
Yeah.
painted on? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's still fairly wet paint.
As he walks over and taps it to just tell everybody that might be a good place, he looks at his hand. Maybe a better place than I thought. Gesturing to his hand with a bit of wet paint on it.
That was a good catch.
Well, maybe we should check out what's in the area, and Drax will just sort of look up into the air, and then he's familiar will take flight and go up probably about 50 feet into the air and start having a 50, 60 feet in the air to have a little sweep around.
I was thinking just that as well.
Sorry, I'm really sorry I missed what you were doing there.
Oh, you're right. I sent my pseudo dragon probably about 50, 60 feet up into the air just to have a little look around to see if there's anything anything that exactly sticks out, like a actual campsite where it shouldn't be, or a campsite that's been tried to been hidden or something.
Perfect. Make me a perception check for your pseudo dragon. Cool. So I will reveal it, but obviously only your pseudo dragon sees it. So there is a small campsite over there that it can see. And it sees that as well. I need to get better at revealing these maps. I'm really sorry that I'm so bad at this. So that is sort of it sees lots of sort of hustle and bustle going on. So you think this is what was described as sort of the shopping area. People, or the selling grounds, I should say. People sort of popping up, buying bits and bobs, and then popping back to their tents. But that's what it sees. Those two areas.
Where would the out of bounds area or such would be?
You get the impression that is it hasn't quite caught the sight of the out of bounds area, but from the description of on the sign, you have a feeling it's off this path here that I'm trying to ping.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
after a few moments, Millie comes back. You just sort of see Drax with the pseudo dragon on his arm, and they sort of just look at each other, and he nods a little bit as they communicate telepathically. He goes, "There's a few tents and carts and such up the way, a bit of hustle and bustle, but I assume that'll be the trading section. But there's a small offshoot path just up here on the right hand side that may lead us to where we may want to go."
Should we ask at the market if anybody's seen anything?
We can do, but if I'm correct, you were the one that said we are in a rush.
A very bad idea has just popped into my head. I wonder whether these children are being kidnapped in order to be sold on. So perhaps the market might be a good to start looking.
Did that really just jump into your mind just now? I
It
thought of
hadn't
that the
occurred to
second they
me,
spoke about.
perhaps, but it hadn't occurred to me that the buying and selling of people was a thing that actually happened.
Common people are always worth a price. The more rarer the person, the better the price.
Hmm.
Nico, can you make me a history check, please?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So the three sort of stone pillars around the area, you have a distant memory. You don't know why you have this distant memory, but you know they're known as the orcs, and they're a remnant from a long time ago. These were originally constructed by orcs who once held dominance in the region. Their true purpose has been lost, but you actually faintly recognise this area.
Okay. I'll relay some of that information to the rest of the group. I'll relay the information that they're orc made and that they're old, but we have no idea what they're used for.
So shall we be off? With that, Drax will quickly cast Mage Armor.
Ishida will tighten his bandit, his wrist straps, wrist tapes. Let's go. Point the way.
Drax starts moving up.
I'll follow up behind, but I'm trying to keep things quiet.
Cool. Make me a stealth check.
I will try to be as touch tight as possible.
Okay, so before, are you going up to the selling campsite, or are you going down a little path?
Right, get to the path and look at the rest.
Okay. Before you go any further out of game, I am about to give you a choice. If you go down this path, there is potential of combat. I don't know if you want to call it there for tonight, just in case that combat runs quite late, and come back to this point next week, or we can continue if you're all happy to.
I'm happy to continue. I've got nothing else planned for the weekend.
I will go with the majority decision.
I'm good either way.
Yeah, same. I'm not fussed either way.
I think we have a general consensus of carrying on.
Carry on. Carry on.
I believe there is 2 last voices to be heard from.
We'll carry on.
I'm happy to if the group wish to.
So, back into game. Sorry for the slight sort of meta game.
Ruin the immersion.
Sorry.
Ah,
I thought it better that...
Okay, because I know that combat's coming, I'm going to cast Bless. No.
I trust you all enough to not do that sort of bollocks.
At the entrance, Drax turns to the group and go, well, there are the cellars that way, and I believe this is the path we wish to take for hopefully the child.
Do you wish to lead, or should I take the lead instead?
I'm not
Rally
leading.
behind the flag. I grip the standard with both hands and move to the front.
Cool. So you have activated your battle standard. So how are you going down this little path?
If Lavinia is going first, then I'm gonna be touch tied right next to her.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna be up the front as well.
Remember, this order does extend in front of me, so if I was to be towards the middle of the group, it might be more beneficial.
Yeah, it's got like a 10-foot radius, if I'm correct.
It does.
Exactly.
So if we go Nico, Drax, Ladinia, and then I assume Ashida and Russell, and then Silas is sneaking up behind.
Yeah, I'll be at the rear, but as long as I can get a clear line of sight with a bow, I'll be fine. Or, you know, if you're all in the virtue of the word duck, that would be good
Right.
teamwork.
You shout
Can't
duck.
get that shape yet.
I was about to say you shout duck and suddenly Russell becomes one.
Is that the barbarian path you're taking, Sam? The way of the duck.
You got me.
That would be amazing, and that's such a Sam move as well, to be honest.
I don't know if it's a neat
Idea.
move,
Can
though.
the group word for like instead of Jenga be Daffy? And we just like or Donald. Just like either one. Everything just goes like hit the deck is Donald. Should
No, Scrooge. We have to go Scrooge.
So yeah, I think that's our formation. We're going Nico, Cyrus, Lavinia, Ishida, and then Russell and Cyrus.
Cool beans.
I think. Could be wrong, guys. Please help me. Please fix it if it's not.
Nico, Drax, Ladinia, Ashida, Russell, and Silas.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're all moving into the area.
As we move past the trees,
Yes.
I'm just going to put my hand on one of them and say, "Can you let us know if anything's coming up?"
You get the feeling back of, we'll try.
Thank you.
Okay, so as you walk into this area, that is what you see. I can't tell if you can tell that there's people there, but there is people there. You see 4 gentlemen in hot springs. Their armour and their weapons are on the outside of the water as they're bathing inside. You recognise the armour as the same as the guards have been wearing in and around Dravinin. And they're all just sort of sitting in the pool, and they look at you and go, "Yes."
Is it just 4 blokes or?
Yep, 4 blokes.
Hello. Are we interrupting your bath?
Yeah, kinda.
Sorry, just passing through. And Drax will gesture towards the southward path, I assume.
Sorry, that way's closed.
Oh, you wouldn't happen to be, Dravinin guards, are you?
Nah. Just
Because your
people chilling
armor,
out.
well, your armor looks very similar. That's all. I couldn't help but notice.
That stuff, that's not our stuff. That was there when we got here.
So you turn. Are you naked right now?
Can I tell if it's all the same armor, or is it 3 male sets and 1 female?
Roll me a perception check because you're doing it from a distance. Unless you're going to walk up to it and start rummaging through it. So it all looks, from the distance, all looks male. You can't see any specifically female armor in there. And it all looks fairly the same, sort of same size.
Are they naked?
They look at you and go,
I was just about to ask if there's any like stuff that's actually theirs, or is it just 4 powers of armor and nothing else?
so they look at you when you sort of ask them if they're naked and go, "Why, are you wanting us to be naked?" "No, we're not. We have undergarments on. It's not that kind of a bath."
Well, so what you're telling me is you came here in your pants, and this armor that's here isn't yours. So you walked all the way here in your pants to have a bath. I'm not buying it. Where'd you get the armor from?
You don't need. Why do we need you to buy it? Like, we don't have to explain ourselves to you.
Well, you're telling us the path's closed, but you're not guards, so what authority do you have? I'm going through. Either get out of my way, or you know, I'll fuck you up.
Make me an intimidation check. Is it bad that I'm hoping for a nat 1 here?
Oh Jesus!
Not far off. They look at you and are like, "Nah. You're Finn. You look like you've been in a million wars. We can take you." And like, "We don't need any authority. You're just not going back there." And they start to climb out of the pool and sort of pick up the weapons that are around.
Just take a pot shot out of the bush then as soon as they grab one of their weapons.
Yeah, I'm gonna. As soon as they start getting out of the pool, just draw the blade and just
If they
Go.
climb out of the pool and clump up for a second, Drax will go.
Okay.
The minute one of them grabs a weapon, I'm going to pick one of the pools and cast Entangle on it.
Okay, so everyone roll me initiative then. Because they are aware a battle's about to start, they've gone to grab their weapons.
Click on your tokens.
Excuse me while it takes me 12 years to roll initiative for 50 people.
I completely forgot how to do this, sorry.
So click on your token on the actual Roll20 page, and then go to
Mhm.
your character sheet and click the word initiative. There we go. Nico, what's your dex mod? Oh, they're both exactly the same, for fuck's sake.
0. Yeah, they're exactly the same.
I'll let you go first. Obviously after the dude that's going actually first. So, this guy here, because Nico is the one that has been doing the fretties, he is going to pick up a crossbow, aim it at you, and fire. Does a 17 hit?
He has to make a wisdom save first.
Oh yes, of course he does.
Yeah, 13 hits, yeah.
He got an 8, so that's a fail, right?
A DC of 13, I think. Go and double check.
Yes. So I think that fails, so... And I don't think there's anyone else currently he can target that he can see.
Yeah, DC 13.
Yeah, so he loses the attack because he can't attack anyone right now. So, Nico, your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna move up sort of here to the edge of the pool. Just take a hack at him with the great sword.
Cool.
I told him to back down. He didn't back down. That's pissed me off, so I'm gonna start raging.
Cool.
Give him a go with the great sword. Reckless. Because what's the point in not doing it reckless?
So roll the roll.
19.
Hits. Low AC because they didn't manage to get their armor back on.
6 plus 2. So 8 points damage.
Cool.
That's going to end my turn. I'm going to stay.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to do maths in my head. Cool, so it is this dude's turn. So he is going to step out of the pool. He is wearing underpants, you're all fine. He is not naked. He is going to pick up his weapon and then move to there. And it is going to make 2 great sword attacks at Nico. Advantage because of reckless, yeah?
Yep.
So that one was a nat 20. So does a 25 hit?
Yes. My AC is 10.
Jesus Christ, you need better AC. How is
Yep.
it 10?
In the banner.
He's not in the banner, he's moved out. He's away. He's 10 more than 10
Should
foot
have
away
stayed
from me.
there. We have got a sanctuary going on.
How do you have an AC of 10? Don't you get to add, like, your strength and something to it?
You get to add.
Your con and dex.
I don't have any. 10 plus your dex. Oh, plus your constitution. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's actually 12. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I was like, you should not have an AC of 10. But yes, so you take 16 points of slashing damage.
Ugh.
Halved, I assumed.
Yes, halved because of
Half
rage, so
rage,
8.
Yeah.
And then it will take its second attack against you as well. So that was a 17, which I think hits.
Yes.
So you take 8 slashing damage again, that's halved, so 4 slashing damage.
Cool. Yeah. Cool.
And that is that one's turn. This one here is going to, once again, step out of the pool. It is going to think, or he is going to think, that you are fairly well dealt with. So it will take a pot shot at the, or attempt to take a pot shot at the hooded figure it can see just coming into the clearing. So he will make a wisdom saving throw first. And it gets a 14, so it can hit you, correct?
Correct.
So it will make a crossbow attack at you. So a 19 to hit.
Yep, that's hits.
Okay. Rolled really well on the actual attack, really badly on the damage. You take 1 piercing damage.
Wow.
Yup. And that is that guy's turn. So Draxus, it is now your turn.
Best option would probably be yeah, I'm going to use Ice Knife against the one that's just shot me.
Cool.
13.
Hits.
Awesome. Can he and his little mate next to him both make me dex saving throw?
Of course. So the one you're aiming at got a 15. His mate next to him got a 5.
Right, so the one I was aiming at takes 10 points of damage, and his mate takes 10 points of damage as Drax sort of grabs the air, pulls it together, and all the moisture in the air starts coalescing between his hands, creating a ice shard swirling with frozen mist and icicle shards around it, and launches it straight at him. As it goes into his gut, it explodes out, sending shards of small bits of ice slicing up the mate next to him.
Cool. How much did you say the first guy took? The guy you were actually aiming at?
Both of them take 10 points of damage.
Cool.
And then I will move probably here. So I'm still in range of Ladinia, but yeah, and that will be my.
So that brings us to the other dude, who is once again gonna step out and grab his weapon. So he is going to aim at Nico, and because he has a ally within 5 feet, he gets advantage, but he'd get advantage anyway because of reckless. And he rolled a dirty 20 to hit with his heavy crossbow. So hits, correct? Yeah, 12.
Yeah,
I
12.
should grab my cheat sheet and then I wouldn't need to ask and it wouldn't make it feel like I'm rubbing it in. You take 4 piercing damage, so half to 2.
Oh, joke.
Russell, it be your turn.
Right. Can I move through my allies at this point?
Make me a dex check. Yeah, I'll say you can just about squeeze around with that. Only just though, so it's a little bit of a tight squeeze.
I'm going to move to here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to center, on this corner here. And I'm going to cast Thunder Wave.
Okay, that's 15 foot around you, correct?
It's a 15-foot cube.
I think casting target itself, is it not? Am I incorrect?
Yes. Hang on a minute. I'll link it as a.
Yeah, so it's a 15-foot cube centered on yourself, so you would catch, and I'd allow you to know this because you've probably cast the spell before, you would catch Nico and Draxus in that.
No, you can choose the origin point from one of the corners of your square.
I'm hijacking your sheet for 2 seconds. So the spell says each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you must make a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, so it would generally be a 15-foot cube anywhere from. So with Russell where he is, it will be 15 foot by 15 foot, like that, I assume.
I'll allow it. I don't think that's how it works, but I'll allow it.
It would say centered on you if it was if you were in the center of it.
That's it. I'll allow it. You guys win. I'll allow it.
Doesn't matter. I'm getting hit either way.
So it's all 4 of them, correct?
No, it's 3 of them. 15 by 15. I'm deliberately sculpting it in a direct line in front of us.
Cool. So one of them gets a 14, so that's a fail. So that takes 15 damage, correct?
Correct.
So the one in front of you takes 15. The one in front of Nico. And then the one at the back. Rolls a 9. Because apparently I can't roll for bollocks on saves tonight. So that also takes 15. So where was that on my... There we go. So is that your turn?
I will look at them rakishly and smell. Hello, boys. Care to dance?
Cool. Ladinia, it is your turn.
Okay, I'm moving up to there to get both of them back in the banner range. And next, I'm going to cast Command on the one between us all. It's verbal only, so I don't need my hands for it.
Cool. What's the save? Did you say the one that's in between all of you?
Yes, that one. Give me a second.
It rolled a 17.
Yeah, it needs the needs to be 13, so oh well.
Cool, so it saves. He feels you casting the spell and just looks at you and goes, no. Okay. So is that your turn?
It is.
Lovely. So, Cyrus, it is your turn.
Who's still standing?
All 4 of them are still standing.
Who looks the most beaten up and
Uh,
not currently about to get like the casting couch treatment that this guy's getting here?
yeah, the guy at the very, very back is looking probably the most wounded out of all of them. Although the 2 guys in front of Nico and Russell are also looking fairly on their way out.
I just like slide up where I can get a shot off at the guy at the back and then just fire a bow shot at him.
Cool. Yeah, that hits.
Good. Sorry.
Cool.
Points piercing damage. And bonus action to hide.
Roll me a stealth check. You believe you are hidden.
Oh, I have my arse sticking out of the bush going, I am completely stealth. I am gone.
Ishida.
Can I? It's really crowded here, isn't it?
Fairly crowded.
And these are like mountains, or like, sorry, like not like ridges, no mountains.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Using my 45 feet movement, could I basically just kind of do like a Naruto run across the edge to come over here?
Roll me an acrobatics check.
I want to come to there if possible, just behind this guy.
With a 16, just. That was basically the DC in my head, so yes, I will allow that.
And once, so I'm imagining that I run across that, and as I'm coming behind him, I'm just going to kick him in the back of the head as I drop behind him
Cool. Roll me an attack.
with advantage because I've got Annie in there. So, 21.
That hits.
So that'll be 7 bludgeoning damage, and then I will take one kick at this guy. Then the one in front of me.
Cool. So the one that you've just hit crumples to the floor.
Yeah, and then I'll just take a kick at this guy. So that's a natural 20, but that's only a 2, and then 4, 6 damage.
Cool. So he is still standing, but only just.
That's my turn.
Cool. So it is the guy in front of Nico again. So he's gonna drop his heavy crossbow, grab the mace, and make 2 attacks against you. So the first one misses actually with a 10.
Doesn't he have to make the banner DC again?
Oh yes, it misses anyway.
Yeah.
But I'll make it for the next one. 12, so he fails. So, and there's no one else in range that he can hit, so he won't make the second swing. So, Nico, you're done.
Okay. Is there a flanking bonus if I hit the one on the left of me?
Yes.
Then I'm gonna hit him, so I don't have to use reckless this time.
Cool.
Dirty 20.
Hits.
7 plus 2, 9 points damage. I've rolled so bad on damage. I want to use some movement, but I don't want to provoke attack of opportunity. So I am going to Bamf. Uh, here.
Cool.
Boom. Just pop over there. I turn into kind of like a ghost, and I just pop over there. And that is the end of my turn.
Cool. So, the dude that you just bamfed away from is like, where the fuck did he go? And he's like, the fuck. So he is going to turn to the guy that did a lot of damage to his friends with the magic spell. So Russell, and he is going to make his wisdom save to see if he can hit you. Nope. He rolls a nat 1, so he doesn't even get to think about hitting you. He literally just blanks for a minute. He's so freaked out by where the fuck did the angry dude go. He's just like, nope, it's not happening. So, the next one. This one here is going to turn to Ishida. And you are outside of the 10-foot banner range. So he will make 2 greatsword attacks against you. Yes, it's 10 foot.
Yeah.
And I'm just doing the cubes as 5 foot because I don't think I've managed to make the measuring tape correct.
No, I don't think it's snapped yet, but that's fine.
So the first attack is a 15.
Misses.
Cool. And the second attack misses as well, it's an 8.
Yeah.
So he's just swinging wildly, really off put by the fact that he's currently fighting fairly naked. And he misses. Drax, it's your turn.
Can the gentleman right in front of me please make me a intelligence saving throw?
He rolled a 5. He fails.
Awesome. So even though Draxus has got his hood up and a bit covered, you see a faint glow of purple light radiate from underneath the cloak and his clothes. And he sort of just lifts his head up, looks him dead in the eye, and reality twists and contorts around his body for a moment, and he goes flying back in a direct line 30 feet.
Thanks for that, mate.
Sorry. You got to. Well, he has to hit his friend first.
I was going to say, I don't know how I'm going to play that. I think that he'd just stop at his friend. But I will allow Russell to get an attack of opportunity if he wants it.
Certainly. Two-handed quarterstaff swing. Batter up.
A 15 hits. I'll ignore the 2. So he takes 3 bludgeoning damage.
Would I ask? Would they get a strength saving throw to stay standing?
Yep, I will give the dude that got flung a strength saving throw. The other good dude's kind of like a little prepared for it because he kind of sort of saw the dude flying back towards him. But the other dude, where's his sheet? It is. Yeah, no, he rolled an 8, so he falls flat on his ass.
And then I will step to the side here, and that'll be my turn.
Awesome. So the blue dot is going to mean he's prone. That's how I'm going to keep track of that. He is dead, this dude. So Russell, your turn.
Choices, choices, choices. How are these guys looking, as it were?
The dude that's flat on his ass is looking fairly okay. The dude that he ran into is looking on his last legs. And the dude that Nico just bamfed away from is also looking fairly damaged.
Okay, let's thin the herd a little. I'm going to target the one in the pool. And I'm going to throw a ball of fire at him with Produce Flame.
Cool. So a 12 hits, and he takes 4 fire damage. So he is still standing, but only barely. Ladinia, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm going to use thaumaturgy to make every single noise that's about to happen 3 times louder than it should be. Again, that's just a verbal thing.
Okay.
So I'm going to move. Slam the base of the banner against the ground as hard as possible and yell, "Yield or fall."
Make me an intimidation check with advantage. Okay. Okay, so the one in the pool drops his weapon and goes, "Okay, I give up, I give up, I give up." The one that's currently flat on his ass thinks about it for a second and then just stops trying to get off his ass. He's also sort of willing to yield. The dude at the back, though, not a care in the world. He's like, "No, bring it. I will take you all on." Cyrus, your turn.
Yeah, that's my turn.
See the bull prick at the back? Yeah, I'm just going to take a shot at him again.
Cool. Roll me an attack. Yep, a 15 hits. Cool.
Sneak attack because you were hidden.
Yes, you were. So you get to add your sneak attack to that. And also, Ishid is in within 5 feet, so you also get to add sneak attack to that. And roll with advantage, so if you want to roll again, just in case you get a nat 20. Okay. So yeah, just add your sneak attack.
A total of 11 points.
Cool.
No, 11 points.
13, no?
Yeah, 7 and 6.
7 and
13.
6, 13.
Added the 5. Okay. 13 points in. How bad's he looking?
Pretty bad, yeah. Definitely close to being deaded. Cool.
Your turn.
Ishida.
Can I just kind of walk by this guy and just kind of conk him in the head with my elbow, just to kind of knock him out?
So you want to make non-lethal attack?
Yeah.
Yeah. Roll me to hit.
20.
Yeah, that hits. However, it's not enough. So he is still standing. Barely.
That's fine. I've continued to kind of walk by him, and I'm going to continue to kind of walk by, so I'll take an opportunity attack.
Cool. So that's a 13, which I don't believe hits.
Misses. I'll just continue walking.
Cool.
And I think I was there, so that's what 10 feet to get across to there, and then I've got another 35 feet movement. So kind of, can I keep moving
I'm
forward
gonna
until?
get you to stop where you are.
Okay,
Just remember that you want to move further next game, but you'll stop there for now.
sure.
So this dude has given up. Nico, your turn.
All right, I'm gonna step up. I'm not going. I want to chop him in half.
Roll to attack.
Yep, reckless. $14.
Yep, a 14 hits. And you don't even need to roll damage. How do you want to do this? He has 1 hit point.
I wanna use that obnoxiously large great sword and just slice him down the center in 2 halves.
So you swing your really big long sword, great sword, above your head, bring it smashing down on the center of his head, and it cleaves him in half from top of his head right down, literally split in half, 2 halves of a human. And considering the other 2 have given up, that is the end of combat.
I feel a little bit sorry for the dude on the floor in front of his mate who's just been cleaved in half.
Yeah,
Probably
Well,
just
there's
soaked.
lots about him, isn't there?
he is.
I told him I was gonna fuck him up.
He is messy as hell. He is covered in blood and freaking out a little bit.
Well, at least he's right next to a bath.
But yes, you are out of combat, so you can do what you like.
I'm going to go and collect the weapons just in case the guys decided, you know what, we're not going to give back to all.
Okay.
Drax will mine a conjure a couple of manacles and just say, if you'd be so kind to put them on for us.
The guards, the guards look at you like, how are we meant to put them on ourselves? We're not Houdini.
Not Houdini. I just gesture for the one that looks most hurt to put manacles on the one that looks least hurt.
Okay, so he will. The one closest to you will manacle the other dude that's currently on his ass, and then look at you and go, now what?
And then I'll manacle him just to be on the safe side.
Cool.
But I would have, if it's all right with you, I would have. Might be a bit cheeky, but can I make manacles without any locks on? It's got a lock, but there's no keyhole.
I'll say no, because then how would you actually open them and lock them? I will say no to that. They will
Fair
have
enough.
to have
Just being
locks.
cheeky. And then I'll just get them to sit down and just go. I assume you were standing guard then.
I make one little amendment to the whole sitting them down thing. On their knees, facing the water on the pool in one of the pools. Got something in mind in case they start getting cheeky.
One's just been bathed in the blood of his own friend, so I'm pretty sure he'll be happy to talk unless you want to turn out like them.
So the one that has been bathed in the blood of his friend goes, look, Some weirdo woman paid us to keep people out. Told there shouldn't be anyone. We just needed to tell random tourists that they couldn't go down there. The campsite is closed.
Is she the one who provided you with this armor?
No, that was just here. As I said, it's not ours.
You really did walk all the way down here in your pants.
We have a camp. It's a campsite. Our tent is like 2 minutes that way. And points towards the direction of the campsite.
Still bold.
Yeah, alright. My family has freaking early onset hair loss. What am I meant to do? I can't help it.
Bold, not bald.
I don't know what that means.
Alright, Baldy. Listen up. We're going to ask you some questions. You don't give us the answers, I'll chop you in half and all. Got it?
Got it.
Who wants to ask these fulsome questions?
Well, first one was, did some people come past this way with a child earlier, within the last few hours?
We've only been guarding about an hour or two. We've not been here that long. No kid has passed us.
Insight check, please.
Roll me an insight check. He's telling the truth.
How much were you getting paid for doing this little guarding job?
A couple of gold each. Wasn't very much. Wasn't meant to be a hard job. Something to just tide us over until we got into town.
That's you should have a look, and Drax will start walking past.
In this time, what did I kind of notice that was in front of me?
So there's a path that carries on. It splits into. I'll reveal a little bit. We won't be exploring down there just yet. That'll be next session, but I will. So there's a little path off in that direction, and then a path in that direction.
Okay.
The woman who paid you to watch the path, what did she look like?
She was covered. I didn't see her clearly. She was fucking short, though. I tell you that much.
About gnome size.
Yeah, probably about average height for a gnome. Or a halfling.
Jack sort of looks at Nico next to him and just smirks a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
Well, if someone wants to gag and tie those two up, while we go check on further ahead.
Does anyone else want to say anything to these two? Ask any questions?
Anyone else in
Voice.
your campsite?
Sorry, what did you say there, Scott?
Is there anyone else hanging about in the campsite that we haven't encountered yet?
It's full of people. It's a very popular camping site. There's shops, there's, well, put up shops, there's lots of people on the way into town.
I mean is anyone in your little posse who we've not encountered yet? Because I would assume so if you had any sense of, I don't know, brains, you would have probably split your group rather than all coming here for a fucking group bathing session all at once. Or were you really all that stupid?
No, she told us all to. She wanted all of us to stand guard. There's only us four in our little group. We were just travelling, just apparently wrong job, wrong time.
And just in case they're
Hmm?
bullshit. I mean, much a nosy bastard. Oh, for fuck's sake.
As far as you can tell, he's telling the truth.
The voice of this gnome short person. How would you describe it? Kind of old or?
Yeah, fairly old, and I put it at female. I couldn't tell for sure, but sounded like a chick.
Hmm.
Anything else from anyone else?
No. I think in terms of this session, Ishida would have just kept kind of walking, so you wouldn't have kind of waited for them. So I think I'm kind of done for this session.
Vardinia?
No further questions, but I would suggest you find a more reliable line of work.
Yeah, too right. Jesus, don't think we want to encounter that again.
I gave him a clear choice. He did not take it.
Oh no, don't get me wrong, you're terrifying. But he deserved it. We all deserved it. Kinda. So, we will, if everyone is happy that they have asked what they want of the dudes, we shall call it a night, if everyone's okay to call it a night.
No.
What?
As in, end the session, call it a night. Stop.
Yeah, I think that's a place to stop.
Yeah, I think it's a good place to stop as well.
Cool. So I will turn the stream off then. So night stream.
Bye, stream.
Bye, stream.
Good night.
Toodaloo.